This is the Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo with the Trbojevic, Willie Mason, and the bro Lukey Stowe. He is all set up. The camera's looking to Mickey. Do we feel like he's in the screen there?
Are you in? Yeah, you're in.
I'm centered?
Yeah. I got you.
Sometimes left, sometimes right. So I thought I'd just pay more attention to detail today.
Okay, nice.
Lighting looks better on here.
Yeah, just for whatever reason,
whatever
the lighting
happened
just
then.
went up there without you even doing anything. Did you see that?
Yeah, did you
notice that
That's
as well?
what I just said. Right on cue.
I don't know if you hit something or whatever,
you
but the
hit
lighting just
Oh, it's this.
it just
You just
for
had a
whatever
mad
reason.
glow up.
Yeah.
There's a glow up.
Anyway, we're changing colours, but that's all right.
It's cool.
Focuses on you guys anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the focus is on Willie Mason, and this one comes from Damo Wants Wealth.
Ooh.
One of the better usernames. And one of the easier names for me to read out. Some
That's
of them
been the easiest one so far.
It's been problematic of late, hasn't it? So my work colleagues are mad on footy, says Damo. I've always been a Penrith fan since 2003 bandwagon.
Ooh.
The
Bandwagon. Straight away off the bandwagon.
bandwagon year.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't watch all the games anymore, but listen to Willie's opinions and regurgitate them as my own at work when the boys chat footy. They think I'm well informed. Thank you, Mr. Mason.
You're welcome. You are welcome. They must think you're the smartest fucker on campus, mate. I love it.
A little shout out there to Mace from Damo. Also want to give the Hodds boys a shout out too.
Yeah, the boys. I was on their thing last night. We made it, Mama.
Yeah,
Did you see it?
Yeah. Well, so this is this is why I brought it up too, because it's cool. Like I love the recognition, and then them sort of shouting us out. But I've followed their page for so long. You know who was the OG. You know who got me onto their page? Georgie Tafua.
Georgie, little Jorge.
Yeah, and it's I think the first ever clip that I seen from him, and this isn't about getting another post, boy. So you don't have to post this. This is just about showing some love. You remember when Sonny first went to rugby union? Yeah, and then there was the big Uso, or he was playing on his team, and he looks over at Sonny off the kickoff, and he goes, "Subus," and he goes gives him that one. Do you not remember that one?
No.
Oh fuck! No. I've got to get it for you.
I've only just been onto him lately.
Oh, have you? So that's the OG.
Because the Gus one got me. Fuck. The Gus one really
I've got to get
got
it for
me.
you because it's. So this is when Georgie Tafua first sent it to me years ago. So
It's been around for a minute.
Well, they've had it. Yeah, they had a different page and then they restarted and done it again. They normally do movie clips and stuff like that. They're
the accent's the best.
Oh, the accent's all time. The broken English is all time. Oh, they don't have it on the new page potential. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, here it is. This is when Sonny first goes over to rugby union.
Shottles.
No, that's the first one I ever seen, and it was when Sonny first went to rugby union, and you can tell the Big Us is keen after be playing with Sonny, and they're so funny, man. So shout out to the boys, and it's weird because like I've been a fan of theirs for so long, it felt weird for them to be shouting us out, and it's the power of social media and podcasts and where the world is going, where. Those boys are doing such a good job. I think I made a mistake too in the comments. I was talking about them being from Brizzy. They might be from Melbourne. So let us know where you're at, boys. Maybe send us a DM. Speaking of Melbourne, let's send it down to Money. I had a chat with Money. We talked all things Melbourne Storm, Mace. We talked all things Origin. And he had a really good perspective on what he wants to do in Game 2. So,
that'd be a good chat.
Here's the chat with Money brought to you by Athlete. Yes, we are back thanks to Athlete with two of the absolute best in the game. This week we are joined by our man Ken Munster, and this is a special episode too because he's obviously coming off a disappointing result for Origin this time last week, but then a really good result on the weekend for the Melbourne Storm in poor conditions against the other Athlete member that does the show with us. So I'll ask you about how that went with Fozzie on the weekend. But as always, Luke will share the link in the bio below. You have a chance to win a performance and recovery pack valued at $500. So get your questions into the comment section. Money, you are joining us this week. Firstly, thank you for joining us so quickly removed from Origin. And how did you pull up from both Wednesday night and backing it up very quickly on Saturday as well?
Yeah, look, a little bit of a disappointing result on Wednesday. We just weren't good enough, even though we probably played pretty poor. We didn't give ourselves any opportunity. credit to the Blues. They played the style of footy that they just had to do to win. I think they put the key on the rack a little bit with about 20 to go. But yeah, for us, this discipline really hurt us in the first 40 minutes, and you struggle to get momentum back bad enough in an NRL game, let alone a state of origin game. So we put a lot of energy in the back end of the first second half with that 15-20 minute period there at the start of the second half where we looked really good. Thought we were going to get a chance to come back, but I think obviously the momentum and how much energy it took out of us in the first half that we just couldn't obviously get back in the second half. So disappointing, but got to play against Foz on a Saturday. He's a champion, Foz. Unfortunately, I didn't get to say g'day to him. They grabbed me straight away and did a bit of media with the Fox, but it would have been nice to have a bit of a chat to him. But someone like that, when you play against.
Did you ask him about his Wi-Fi, mate?
Nah, I didn't ask him about his Wi-Fi. I probably should have. But in saying that too, he probably would have come back with the way I played against the Origin, against the Blues. It could have been like, are you even out there? But yeah, look, it's one of those things. Hopefully, we can turn it around in game 2. It's unfortunate. I thought we were in the game at certain periods of the game, but kudos to the Blues. They had a great defensive line, and they didn't give us an inch.
Yeah, because you're such a larrikin, Money, I think, people mistake you for a guy that's, really relaxed. I've had, over the last couple of years, I've had some conversations with you outside of content and we've done about footy. I know you take it, especially playing for Queensland, very seriously. On reflection, what is something that you've sort of watched back in that game thinking, all right, there are so many factors that go into the result. What could I have done better? What's the one part of the game that I could have taken care of business a little bit better, which can help us get a result in game 2?
Yeah, good question, Scope. For me, looking at it, I probably played more of a first receiver role and try to create shape or create opportunities for the outside men. At times that's probably something I got to do, but when I played my best footy for Queensland, I ran the ball, ran it strong, had options, and a couple of my decisions with the ball, a couple of balls hit the ground, it wasn't great. So I think for me, just being a threat with the ball in hand by running it, I think I tried to shift too much. Looking at it, probably because we were under so much pressure, I thought we had to probably try and score if every play, where you can't do that in games like that. I've been around for a while now, and I've probably been away for a year, but probably forgot how much you need to actually ruin the middle. And we probably didn't do that. I know they've got a great pack, and we've got a good pack too, but we probably just didn't utilise our pack as much as what they did. And their halves were on the ball. Like you look at Nate, he ran so many times, and that's my strength running the ball, where I probably didn't do that, So I ran a couple of times, got some opportunities, but didn't do it a whole heap, Whether that was because of the discipline or the gas that I was obviously being a speed bump and not making tackles, or was trying to be involved in a different way. We get the opportunity again. I just think I need to run the ball more and just be a bit more of a threat in the middle.
Yeah, that's really good. I guess there was a lot of chat, or I don't know if you've seen the chat or seen the vision of Tino. He was really emotional before the game. Both of you two guys missed the series last year. Did you feel any of that going into the game? I know you visibly didn't look as emotional as Tino, but you talked about being a little bit flustered, maybe missed a couple of passes that you normally don't miss. Did you think that played any part by missing last year's series and just sort of finding your feet in the arena again?
Yeah, I think when you think about it, I probably missed a whole year of representative footy, and you can't afford to. I know it's only a year, and you don't think much a whole heap of it, but when you play an NRL, you're not having the consistent line speed, same caliber of players defending it each play, each and every time, So for me, probably just not took it for granted, but probably just didn't understand how fast the game is again, and probably didn't get left behind, but my body's the best it's felt for a long, long time, So I've definitely got that engine in me and got that caliber of performance in me. It's just probably forgetting how quick the game goes, and I probably just was a little bit behind the 8 ball in that way. I felt like we could have played. I think we just played too ad-lib, too sideways. I think we just needed to structure up a little bit more, and that's probably me as a spine as well. We just probably didn't connect last year Chaz had Tommy Dearden and Harry, and I think we're just probably just a bit disjointed. That's the frustrating part, was because the whole week we trained so well together, and they probably went into the game with probably not high expectations, but probably expectations of winning. When we're probably thinking of more of the outcome than the process. So just probably going out into the game, if I get the chance in Perth, just having no expectations, just going out there and playing footy like my life depended on it, and it's pretty much do or die for us. So yeah, it's going to have to take something very special because they're going to get even better. We need to do better.
Beauty. The beauty of it, we've got a 3-game series, and me and Lukey, we've just booked our flights over for Perth, so we're ready for game 2, and I imagine you're just as pumped up. Let's go back to Clubland.
Yep.
7 from 11 this year, and I think you agree with this, and I've watched you impress us with Belly over the last 3-4. I know Drome had it on the weekend, but you've been with Belly. In my opinion, you guys are going well, but nowhere near to because you guys have set such a high bar for how you play week in, week out. Does it feel like you've still got so much more improvement with you guys at the Melbourne Storm?
Yeah, bloody oath. We're just probably not consistent enough at the moment. Like we got some blokes playing really great performances, and then obviously some guys aren't, and then vice versa the following week. So I think for me, looking at it, previous years, like I've wanted to be so consistent and play well every game, and you love to have it, but you're not always going to get that. But I feel like the last year or the year before, we played so well during the year, and then fell short of the hurdle against Penrith.
Okay.
Where my personal opinion now, and I'm probably a little bit different to Bellyache, but he wants to be number 1, obviously every year, which is what you want. But it's not the English Premier League, like being on top of the ladder doesn't really get you the trophy anymore,
Are you trying to time your run? You feel like you're building into your season?
I'd love to build into the season. Like, yes, we want to get our best footy on now, but if we can win those scrappy games and win those tight games like the Raiders are at the moment, and then obviously have that polish at the back end of the year, still be in the top 4, just to give yourself every chance and have that bite of the cherry. But I don't want to be playing my best footy now. Like, I want to be able to play my best footy in September. Penrith have done it for 4 years straight. Like, they've been obviously consistent enough, but if we can be a consistent defensive team and be hard to score against, it'll go a long way to obviously winning the comp. We got points in us. We can score average with 20 to 30 points a game. That's not our problem. Our problem is staying in the grind and not being complacent as something that I'm probably more looking forward to. If we can get that out of our game, it's going to give us every chance to have a special year. But yeah, as long as we're building and playing great footy in September, I'm not too worried.
For sure. And you're going through the most important period, and you know it better than anyone. You're always a part of these series if fit. Melbourne Storm always do a good job of, despite missing so many players. But I've got the ladder here and just on my laptop. And, the Panthers go from last position and jump all the way up to 14th, and they're obviously a danger team. But I feel like this competition is as wide open than I can remember. Credit to the Bulldogs and Raiders because they've been really consistent, but by no means do I look at them and go, look, they're unbeatable. They're playing really good footy. You guys and the Storm and the Sharks are sort of that next tier, and then you got the Cowboys, Seagulls, Dragons, Rabbitohs start getting some troops back soon. I feel like this is, I don't know, for you, you're in it, Money, but for me, watching it as a neutral, and I support you, and I want Ches to go well, and I want Foz to go well, but I really don't care who wins the comp, and I just love how competitive the competition is this year.
Oh, it's massive. Like you obviously talk about the Raiders, the Dogs. Like probably no one gave them any chance this year, but they've obviously got a strong foundation. They've got some gritty players. They've got some flashy players. They've got blokes that can break the game open. So probably why you looked at like insurgents of like your Connor Tracy's, your Xavier Savages. Hudson Young's playing out of his skin. Jamal Fogarty's playing consistent footy as a halfback. Toby Sexton as well. And then you got guys like Stephen Crichton, the back rower, Preston. Like they're all going outstanding. You got Kurt Mann playing some really good footy. And even Max King. Like they've just got blokes all around the park for those both teams that are playing better footy than anyone ever expected. So other than Stephen Crichton, he's a star. But I think for us,
Mann, before you move off Kurt Mann, Money, quickly, sorry, mate. Were you with him at Melbourne Storm when you arrived together back in the day? And you must be super proud of him. He was he was the 18th man going into Queensland after a couple of really good years at the Bulldogs.
Mate, he deserves his opportunity. He was there in 2021 when we had Paul Green as our coach. But like he's just got his game even better. For him, he's been such a great player in so many positions. That's his problem. Like you look at Tyron Wishart, he's a bit similar. Can play centre, play wing, play fullback. He come as a fullback 5'8" at the Storm, and he played left centre. For us, he actually debuted against Manly and scored in the wet off one of Cooper's kicks. I'm pretty sure that won the game for him against you guys. But
was that the 2014 round one game?
Mm-hmm. No. It was 2015. Or no, 2000 might have been 2000. He
Might have
scored
been
no.
14. Is it no? Is it?
No, it was in Melbourne. It was in Melbourne.
Field goal.
No, it was in Melbourne. Cooper kicked it across.
Okay. All right.
He would have been playing for sure.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. So
he was playing.
Mate. Cheers.
So, no worries. Still good to warn you. But yeah, he was the first string. He was first string fullback before me. Like I played one game in 14, and then I got flicked, and then he played fullback.
Okay.
So he was, and then he played the rest of the year because obviously Slacksy was injured. So so I played one game against the Cows, and then after that, pretty much Kurt Mann took over. But then Kurt left to the Dragons, and then the rest was history. So it was very hard for him to find a position because he was so good at it. But he's found the 13 position at home with the Dogs, and he's playing some great footy. So I'm happy for him, and hopefully he gets his opportunity soon. But I think when you look at it, the whole competition as a whole, like you can be 20 points up and still not like you still can't win the game.
You do 15. Watch the Cowboys Tigers game?
Yeah, like there's a great example there. You know, like the Raiders, like the Raiders lost to the Bulldogs, like they were 20 up.
Yep.
Like it's crazy. That whole week you just seeing teams ahead at halftime and lose. Like you do one, and you don't think much of it, but if you have one penalty, 1-6 again, one error, it just changes the whole momentum of the game, and you could do 15, 20 minutes of defending.
Here's what I reckon gets people now, because it's like you're the same. You're watching the game. I'm watching it as a fan now. Mm-hmm. I reckon if a team scores a try and then they score a try in that very next set, the team who's defending starts going, oh shit, because they've watched all these games over this year happen and just going, oh fuck, I hope it doesn't happen to us. You know, are we the team that it happens to this week? That's the one. That's the tricky one. If you dominating a team, they score a try, maybe it's a bit sloppy, but then they go bang bang and score a try the next set, and then you're like, all right, now we're chasing our tails.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head there, Scopy boy. Like you look at it like they score a try, like you said, and then you start defending, and all you're worried about is, I don't want to give up a 6 again. I don't want to give up a penalty, and then you end up doing something silly, or they might clip someone high, they might fall over. You know what I mean? And it's just that snowball effect, and then before you know it, you're back down there. And always we talk about is we just need to get the ball back. Just try and get the ball back. And and sometimes then there goes your like your contact, there goes your like your good like stick, like all that stuff, and you forget about it. And then before you know it, someone's made a line break and they're down the field, and then they're kicking an attacking kick. So yeah, you got to try and find that balance, but at the same time, you're just holding on to dear life at times when you've been defending for 15, 20 minutes, and it's a tough time. And you get the ball back and you're looking for blokes to take carries, and no one wants to take it because they're cooked.
Well, you've always been known as a running half, mate, so maybe an extra few. And plus, you're in my fantasy team too, so I don't mind you getting in for a few more carries as well too, money.
What am I averaging at the moment, 50?
Killing it for you this year. Yeah, you've been on fire, so great job. Unfortunately, I can't find a spot for Fozzie, but I won't tell him on the next episode. We've got the fan question, mate. This is the last one. This one comes from William Neville. Loving the show, lads. Been a long time listener. Scope, could you do me a favour, and next time you speak to Money, ask him about Will Warbrick and his injury status? He's been out of action for a few weeks and haven't heard much. Keep up the good work. And he sneaks in a little go the Blues at the end, but we'll disregard that.
When you win Origin games or at that time, you can do whatever you want. You can't really say a whole heap about that. But if it's for Will, look, it's been a tough time for him. No one probably knew about it, but he had a little bit of a knock in the Maori game, in the All-Stars game.
Okay.
And he was okay. Like, he wasn't bad, but he played the next week for us in round one, and he was still 50-50. Like, he wasn't 100%, but he said he was fine to play. And then after the game, he just started getting symptoms and started getting headaches, and we're just obviously just maintaining and managing him and monitoring him. One
day, so it was a bit delayed, was it? Like it was a delayed reaction. Okay,
yeah. Delayed, yeah. So he was.
It's actually more. It's actually more quite common than people realise, right? With contact sports, that.
Yeah, like whiplash, like the whiplash, the contact, the impact that everyone's having these days, and how kids are bigger and stronger and more powerful. And for him, like, he's feeling really good at times. Like, he might train with us, and then the next day he's got headaches. So he's addressed the group, and yeah, it's been a tough time for him because he can't put his finger on it. Like, he's doing all the right things. He's doing tests. He's fine one day, the next day he can barely ride a bike or get on the walk bike and do alternate. And yeah, look, it's a tough one for us because, like, he's such a great player and he's improved out of sight as a rugby union player to come and play. And he was one of the best wingers of the competition last year, you know. So
yeah, great.
He's probably sorely missed. Like, we probably didn't expect him to be missing so many games. He's another player that we'd love to have back. But unfortunately, yeah, he's just been a little bit slower than expected. But Nelson come back well, so but we're just going to take our time with him. Unfortunately, it's a bit more of a brain problem for us, something that we can't control. So hopefully he can get on top of it. But probably more worried about him as a person than as a player at the moment because, yeah, I think he's doing his own head in with the way his brain's going at the moment.
Well, credit to the club, credit to him for realising. Like, we've all got information about, you know, the dangers of head knocks, and we're so much more aware than we have been in years past. So it's a credit to the club in the way they're taking care of him first and foremost, because, like you said, he's sort like, even though Grant Anderson and Sul Falango are doing a great job, I agree. Will Warbrick's one of the best wingers in the competition, and when you got Coates and Warbrick, those are just difference makers. So kudos to the club, and even Will just, you know, recognising that he's not 100% and taking his time with it. And yeah, I guess from everyone at Levels and all the fans watching, we wish him all the best. And with that, we'll wish you all the best as well, Money. All the best for this week. We'll definitely try to catch up at some point as well over at Perth if we get a little chance to grab a coffee, mate. And really appreciate you jumping on as per.
Thanks for having me, Scope. Hopefully I get picked. If I do, it's my 20th Origin game. So, yeah, getting old, mate. I would have had it last year.
Are you 30 this year?
31 this year. 31 this year.
20 games at 31. Do you know, just, I don't know, like, I know we just discussed it recently because Ches become the oldest player in Origin history. Is Ches 37?
He's 36 at the moment and like 86 days or something. There's something like there was like a little article about it. I think it went and then it went someone else, and then I think Arthur. I think Arthur was third. Yeah, it was third. I'm pretty sure he was third. He was he was 36 or something when he played his first game for Origin for Queensland. But there's someone in between them. I'm not sure if it's Elfie or someone's older, just a touch older. But yeah, mate, Smithy played 40 Origin games. Like, I don't know. I think Tino was the only one that was going to get close to him if he didn't get injured. So unfortunately, Tino's now probably maybe 35 games if he can keep going. But yeah, that's crazy.
I'm just trying to calculate in my head. You get to 20 game 2. You've only got 6 years to go. That's 18 games. That'll get you to 38. So there you go, mate. 6 more years. Three times 6 is 18. You're too shy of Smithy. Easy.
Right, Smithy got like 42 or something. Like, so I think it was still something ridiculous, but he was crazy.
Oh, here's a funny stat. I was doing radio the other day. Smitty's got Cameron Smith has more representative games than I have NRL.
Oh.
I think he's played or I'm just over. I think he's like 118, and I played 120 NRL games. Cameron Smith, between Australia and Queensland, has played more representative games than us. That's crazy. Yeah,
it is crazy. You're the only one, Scope. He played 50 Aussie games, like 50. So like some boys only get to. I think the average is like 30 NRL games. Like, I think that's an average now.
Yeah, so, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so he's played. He's above the average in Australian games.
So that's crazy. It was, mate. But
all the best, mate. Thank you for joining us again this week.
Thanks, Gary boy. Thank you.
See you, brother.
How was that?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. So, Mace, we'll just keep talking about it.
Yeah, what is it?
The one thing, like, I wanted to, or not make clear, but because he's such a larrikin, people can.
Why don't you watch the clip that I put up? Have you seen the clip?
Yeah. No, but I can just explain it. No, explain. We can just talk about it here. Like, he can be perceived sometimes as like carefree, rat's ass, and all those sorts of things. He was really good, even with our clips sometimes. Like whenever the difference between him and Fozzie is when I go on with Fozzie would go, all right, we can have a bit of a joke, but then he locks in and he'll give you really good nuggets. Money is normally a little bit more rat's ass. Yeah. Money comes on, he's
a weird sense of humour.
Takes the piss out of himself, takes the piss out of Melbourne, takes the piss out of Bally, whatever. Really good chat, this one. Not to say that all the other chats aren't good, but I love the balance of chatting to him week to week because it's always different. But he talked about what's important for him in game 2, and then you can watch that clip after.
It's getting serious now.
Yeah.
So that's the importance of Origin.
He's going to flick the switch for sure.
Good.
Speaking of flicking the switch, I really enjoyed this this text here or this comment on YouTube about my frustration with Turbo, or not Turbo specifically, but Manly not looking at a positional switch. And this one comes from Cuddly Bark, and I reckon this would sort of sum up how a lot of Manly fans would have been feeling about Turbo and his situation over the last couple of years. Some of you all will think I'm getting too deep into this, but I'm actually upset and borderline emotional typing this as a Manly fan. It's a big start, right? Jeez. It's a big start. I'm coming to the realisation that Hopper needs to take over from Turbo, and I don't say that as a knee-jerk reaction. I've been thinking about this since Hopper came in last year, but I've been fighting those thoughts because it hurts. Any team that needs a full-time fullback should chuck the checkbook at him. He is seriously that fucking good. It kills me to say this, but if Manly wants to keep him and take their side seriously, we can no longer justify Turbo limping around the pitch for 2 games and then out for 5. It hurts me so much because I'm such a passionate Manly fan, and Turbo has been my hero. He is also inspiring and never gives up, always tries his hardest, but what else can we do? It's infuriating whilst also at the same time makes me so upset. If Turbo could put together not just 5 games, but 5 good games, I would maybe consider taking it back, but I think it's too late. I'm devastated for Turbo, Gerbo, and Burbo, and us diehard Manly fans. Our legend is breaking down right in front of us.
It's deep.
It's deep. It's heavy.
That's nice.
There's some. I know it might be a little bit dramatic, but there is some
truth to it.
There's some truth to it, right? And
that's what your diehard is feeling, right? That's what the diehard.
So here's my question to you, Mace, and I think there would be a number of Manly fans that feel this way and be really conflicted because of all the reasons that he's saying. Turbo is a fan favourite. They love the family. It's not like he is rat's ass and you see him out on the piss all the time. Boy. And he's doing shit things away from footy. That's the reason he's breaking, like his body's breaking down. But it's to the point now where the Manly fans are just like, fuck. Like this is a huge decision, right? Yeah. And what are we going to do moving forward? Because we can't afford to be paying him the $1.1 million, which he's even said himself that he would be willing to take a trim. Has there ever been, and I was thinking about this on the way in because I was thinking about the story as well. Do you think there's ever been a more beloved player that the club fan base has had more patience with than Turbo?
No. No. In any club.
Yeah.
No, he is because of the human that he is and the family that he's from. And it's credit to the family, the father, the mother, how they were brought up, and to Tommy and everybody in that family. They're just a great family and everyone's just rooting for him, right? And like if this was anyone else, it would have been done a couple of years ago. These conversations have only crept up right now. You said it a year ago, Hoss. Yeah. Credit to you. And that's a very close friend of yours. And you even said that now it's starting to get some momentum, right? It's been on mainstream. They're like, he has to take a cut. Does he, because of the Hopewadi push, there's that narrative sort of switching. Does he get into the front line? Does he play 6? Does he play wing center? You said this a year ago, mate. Like you were well aware of what was happening.
See, the thing is, though, everyone was aware of it. It's not like
no one was saying it.
Yeah.
No one was saying it. You were the first one to say it.
Yeah. It's because of, and you know why? It's because of the personality. It's because they're legends. It's because they do everything right. And I fully understand that and appreciate that.
But I honestly don't think anyone, and nor they should do it with anyone else, but with a guy like Turbo.
Yeah,
right. This is what happens when you're that sort of person.
Yep.
You get these breaks. You get more leeway. You get the most they can give until it becomes times like now where you're like, the conversation needs to sit down at the end of this year.
And you factor in
maybe quicker.
Probably no one ever in the history of the game has been the human and the family and the involvement within the community like Trbojevic has, but also whilst at the same time having the elite ceiling that Turbo has.
Yeah.
That's another factor.
And no one's ever seen a season like he put in 21.
No.
And that's when I said it in 21. I'm like, what he did then, no one's ever going to replicate. You know what I mean? And I said that's going to put him in a stratosphere where he's going to be judged on 21. Whatever he comes back as, it's always going to go, oh, he's not as good as 21. No one ever is as good as that man. Yeah. That's the best single year and a person has ever had in the history of rugby league. Greater than the Hayne playing, greater than anyone, like anyone's ever done. I've never seen 16, 17 games like it in my life.
But I think you would agree with this. I really thought, like, because of the person, because of the way he dedicates himself and all that, so the way he's a really good trainer. It's purely because of injury that he hasn't been able to maintain or replicate that. Though.
It's not because
I feel like he could have done that 22, 23, 24 for sure, if not for injuries.
It's a high risk game, isn't it, with injuries?
Yep.
You know, like you don't know how your body's built on the inside, and obviously his isn't built for that long-term 10, 15-year plus consistency like a Cam Smith. You know, like even like a Billy Slater, like these guys are able to maintain excellence for 10 plus years. The JTs and everything like that. They're built different. This guy's a big man. He's 6'4", 6'5", easily. 106 kilo, fast as anything, strong as anything. Like it was like having a halfback's brain with that frame, and he could just move beautifully. It just wasn't. Then the hamstrings go right, and then it's all biomechanics, and it's just the way it is. We're just going to look back on him and go, what if he didn't get injured?
You know what's funny? I'm just like listening to the names that you mentioned there. There's pros and cons to size, right? Yeah. So the smaller guys, although they may be smaller, which then you'd think contact would be an issue. More compact, probably don't fight through tackles as much, go to the ground. Big, strong, powerful guys. The first guy that comes to mind when I think of that is Sonny. When Sonny hit the scene, and Sonny had a great career, but Sonny was always sort of
have a look at Sonny's body and look at the injury list. He's one of the most professional players that you'll ever see. Same as Turbo.
Yeah.
When you go back and I think the Telegraph did with Sonny.
Yep.
The injury toll that he's had on his body.
Yep.
It's you just don't notice because he doesn't whinge about it. Neither does Turbo.
Yeah.
Right. These great players, they just deal with it. They know their body is your body is your tool, right?
Yeah.
You best always say it.
Best ability.
Yeah. And just.
But do you agree with that in the sense where like the con for them, even though they're big, strong, powerful, so they can have these really big moments and Sammy Burgess is another example, you're always getting the best effort from the players trying to defend you, and sometimes you're dragging 2 or 3 people with you.
It's the body, exactly.
So you're stuck in tackles and therefore someone's fucking, you're palming one off and another one chops your legs. Like
that's what
there
is
a benefit in being a smaller guy and just going down on that initial contact. Right?
And that's where the Turbo's like, he's a big man, he's a strong guy. His game is predicated on line breaks and playing short sides and just going through you.
Yeah.
Right? He remembers a couple of that 21 season, he was just getting the ball off the 9 and just running over front rows.
Yeah.
Like get out of the way, bang. You know what I mean? Like when you lose that drive from your whole biomechanics and all your legs and everything like that, it just takes a little bit out of your game. And there's been a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a knee injury and all these little things that have sort of just brought him back to being still a great player. Do you know what I mean? Like he's still if he fucks around and he was still going to get picked in Origin, right? He'll still be on the Kangaroo tour, at Turbo at 70%.
Yeah.
That's how good he is. And that's a shame about looking at this now. Like we just want him to come back, and Manly's been good with what they've been doing with him. And you're like, but it's just sometimes your body is not made to do that. Some people's bodies just aren't conditioned to play rugby league week in, week out.
Or in that style.
In that style of play. He's very physical. He wants to run over guys in the middle that are 110 kilos. He can beat you on the outside. He can beat you with footwork. When he's stepping off his hips and everything like that, it's a lot of pressure. That's sports science with this is the peak of sports science right now, and we still can't get him right.
Yeah.
So some people just aren't meant to just sit up there, right? Because he's full. He's 110% everything that he does. He doesn't fucking shirk anything. He doesn't go out there. We see him limping around. You're like, fuck, go off. Nah, he won't. Because he's too proud.
Yeah.
And he loves Manly and he loves playing at Brookie. I've seen it so many times. And it'd be devastating. You can see a fucking emotion in this guy's writing, right? Or the diehards.
Yes,
The diehards for Manly. It's sitting on the fucking brookie. They're watching their hero just fucking. It'd be hard.
You know the hardest part about it too is not to say it guarantees a competition, but like if he'd won a comp for him too during this period.
21 year, I wish I'd have got that.
Like 21, I really think he was ascending into that player we all thought he was going to be after the 21 season. And not to say it guarantees anything, but
it's 4 years ago.
A few little places. Ches was still in a really huge cherry ripe. Pardon the pun. Turbo, if he goes on that run and stays healthy and just destroys teams, man, Penrith were really good during that period, but every time he plays at that level, he lifts everyone else up. So that's another part where you look at it and just like, that's devastating for him. So it makes it really intriguing about what's going to happen next and what the future is for.
And it's weird for us to throw a take on him because you played with him for a couple of years. My last year in the NRL was him being like an 18-year-old, right? Just being really respectful young kid. And you're like, oh, fuck, the Manly's in good hands there with Jakey and Tommy, and DC and all that sort of crew.
They were so blessed to go from the Stewart brothers to the Trbojevic brothers straight
like the Prince of Brookie was Brett Stewart. Just imagine having someone take your position and just be fucking equal with you straight away.
What about like, and we think
Brett Stewart's 10 years.
There's some similarities in Stewart, like Snaky at the end.
And fucked knees.
His hammies and his knees were sort of breaking down at the back end. There was a young emerging player called Tom Trbojevic. Now there's a young emerging player called Lee Hapawadi. Yeah. But whilst also at the club, right, if you look now, you can have Ruben Garrick that can go in and play fullback. You've got Tolu Kola who can go in and play fullback. What did we have at Manly? We had Peter Hickle at the time who could go and play fullback.
They're always blessed with fullbacks,
we had Clint Gutherson who could play fullback, and he made way in the same year that we left.
Gutho was there, and I'm like, who was there before Snake? Nobody.
No one.
Matthew Ridge.
Matty.
90 from the 90s. That's all I remember.
So,
Matty Sears.
Was it Sears?
No, Sears.
Matty Sears is North Sydney, isn't he?
North Sydney.
So there was that the Northern
Eagles.
The Northern Eagles throw.
But there was no real player there. I remember playing against the Northern Eagles that wasn't like, I think maybe Matty Sears was there.
Is it Albert something? What was his name?
I'm just saying that it wasn't like
like an out and out guy.
It wasn't out and out. These guys have had a run from 2004 onwards with the Stewarts and the Trbojevics and everybody else that's had to leave town.
Yeah.
Like Gutho and everybody. Peter Hickle had some gun years in Manly.
What about even KO Weeks currently playing at Canberra?
Yeah. Yes.
And how good he's playing at fullback.
Fullback's a good position, man, but it's taxing.
Yeah,
right?
it is taxing.
Guys like Billy Slater and that just made that look easy.
Yeah, but they had Graham Eady in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
I know that. I could say that.
We're talking about
we're talking like just say 2000s, like just say 98 to 2003.
Brendan Reeves, Scott Donald.
See, I played against those blokes. No disrespect, they ain't no Brett Stewart and fucking and the Trbojevic for 20 years. For 20 years, they've had a fucking gun.
And even Matty Ridge was a gun.
Matty Ridge was a gun.
He was our Kiwi
but
captain.
You're talking 90s. That's cool. Matty
so
Ridge
like there was a genuine gap before that.
Yeah.
Right,
so the 98. So when from the NRL years, it's been so you're talking 25 years of NRL, or whatever. They've had guns. I'm talking Hall of Fame players at the back there.
You know
all
what
the time.
like? It's like my Packers going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. And his love goes.
But a shorter span, different position.
That's what it is. They've just
And also he brought his brother along.
Yeah, and you got a mad brother.
Yeah,
like,
you got a mad brother.
Like Jakey's the Hall of Famer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, and little Benny's got his career to sort of carve out, but yeah.
What about the reports that he said he would never want to play against
Let's get
Manly?
to it. This is what we've got. All right, let's get into the two. So injury-plagued Seagull superstar Tom Trbojevic has been linked with a shock move to the Super League when his contract expires. Now, the fullback is reportedly weighing up whether he would head to the Super League because he does not want to play against Manly. The former Blues and Kangaroo star has reportedly told those close to him that he'd rather play overseas. Yep, like I mentioned. Manly are keen to keep Trbojevic and his older brother Jake at the club and have opened up discussions ahead of both becoming free agents November 1, but both are facing huge pay cuts. Jake is currently on $900,000 and it's reported that Tommy is on 1.1, 1.2, and the club are reportedly willing to offer Jakey at least $500,000. Without offending anyone in the Super League community, because I've been there, I love my time over there, it would be a real shame for Tom to go over there at 29 years old.
No. He's not going.
He's a different quality of player, and he should not be over there at that age. And then this goes back to my frustrations on Monday about the welfare of the player and the welfare of his future at the club. Because even though I am I want a positional switch, at least in the interim, in the short term, with the ability to go back there at some point if things do, if you're able to get him right. The fact that he's even considering this because he's been so frustrated with his body breaking down is, it's really sad.
No, this year ain't going to Super League. No fucking way. They better sign him for 2 or 3 years. Just less than the money. Yeah. He said he'll take less. Yep. He can play wing. He can play centre, 5'8", whatever it is. You do not want Tom Trbojevic out of the NRL. Agreed. He's a superstar. We keep superstars here till they fucking want to retire here.
Yep.
Unless he wants to go over there when he's like fucking 35 or something.
Well, yeah, exactly right. So the prime example is the Jared Warrior-Hargraves, superstar of the game. Yeah. Should only go to the Super League for a year or two to do some travelling, and then he's been great for the culture at Hull KR. They're currently leading the competition in the Super League. They're going into their second Challenge Cup in a while. Willie Peters is doing a great job.
It's awesome.
When you get a superstar like that, of that level, that's when you go over.
That's exactly right.
Not at 29. Not at 29.
That's young. That's too young.
So Manly know that. They know how important the Trbojevics are to the area. They should never play for another club in the NRL, in my opinion. And I don't think any out of the club should even be going after him because it just wouldn't feel right. They both probably deserve a couple of more years at the clubs, but it's got to be club friendly, and it also can't insult them. So what's the number?
Yeah. I mean, Jakey could be – I think Jakey still does. You need that guy in the middle. He tidies everything up. He's still a great ball player. Yeah, he's lost a metre, right? Yep. You know what I mean? I think he's one head knock away from fucking near wrapping it. You know what I mean?
It's a severe –
it'd be a concern for me. He's been pretty good for the last sort of 5 years, hasn't he?
No. So the last 6 months have been
just
probably
remember he first hit the scene and he got knocked out a lot?
Yep.
Then he fixed it for ages, and then it seems to be coming on the last 18 months, right?
The last 6 months, dating back to, remember the bad knock that he had in the semi-final in the Roosters game?
Yeah, okay.
Remember that?
Yes, really
bad. And then he had the bad knock against maybe Canberra around round 3 or 4 potentially, or it could be another team. Was that Brookie? Yep. I would have liked to have seen him on the sideline a little bit longer, to be honest, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That. Was that the hit?
Laurie mentioned that he's in contention.
Because he does shit as an Origin player. He's just been hit hard with injuries and head knocks. You know what I mean? So
because he's tough as all hell.
He locks that middle up so good. People they just used to seeing what Payne Haas does, right? Payne Haas is very good. Payne Haas's details nowhere near Jake Trebojevic's. If you look at everything that he does, he's getting a little bit old. He's lost a step, but not defensively.
So we joke around about Mace mentioning the stats thing all the time, and sometimes you don't like people who haven't lived it or played with someone like Jakey before. Just will never ever understand it. And it's not like we're sitting here going, you don't know. And you know what? Supercoach is a bit of the problem with it all.
Fucking over it
across the board because people play Supercoach and he doesn't put up crazy Supercoach numbers. So not everyone, but some. So that's a huge part of what the community is. And then again, sometimes even players don't realise it, Mason, until they actually play with him. Like I've played against a number of people where I was like, he's all right. Yeah. And then you play with him week to week and you're like, fuck, he's better than what I expected. Yeah. You would have had a number of guys.
But Jakey's that guy, mate. And he's only 31. He can still do a job. If we put in New South Wales and if they sign him for another 2 years, just to have him at the club and Jakey can just go out. But he's played a lot of football, a lot of minutes. It's not about the games. Yeah. That's an 80-minute man in the middle. That is not normal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's played some big minutes. He's played some big games.
So the frustration for at least fans from outsiders looking in wouldn't have been necessarily having Jakey in the team. It's because of the injuries and he doesn't put up the stats of some other players. So. Manly fans want to keep him. It's just got to be at the right price as well.
He's never been a stat man anyway. He's just been giving you about 40 tackles, 40, 50 tackles.
I think 500, a 1 year, maybe 2 year extension for Jakey to finish at the club for 500,000 is about right.
Jakey 2 years. Is Jakey 32 this year or 31?
31, turning 32 potentially.
Just check that because that's pretty important. If he wants to play to 34, not everyone's going to do that. He might just want 1 year and go.
32 February next year.
Yeah, so it's fucking early. So he is at 30, 1 year.
Jakey's at 1 year extension.
He should just do 1 year and go, do I want to play? Do I want to keep playing? And then when you do these 1 years, then you'll really find out if you want to turn up every week. Yeah. The 2 year deals are like, I got one in the bag. I can sort of fuck around this year that sometimes, and then the next year you really turn it on. So But later in my career, I was doing that as well. The 1 year, back yourself, then sign a couple, and then.
Okay, perfect. Let me ask you this question. You're Jakey. You've been on 900,000 for the past 3-4 years. They asked you for 500. Are you offended at that? And do you take
not
that
really.
deal?
No.
You're happy with it?
I'll try and push it to 600.
Okay.
Single year, 600, 650, just because of the cap and everything like that. I know,
Yeah, true.
I know. He could probably get. I think he could get 650. I don't think that's disrespectful. They offer him 300. Anything less than 5 or anything like that is disrespectful.
If they offer him 3, then I'd fucking advise him to tell him to get
go to New
Guinea.
Go to New Guinea. Yeah. Just wait 1 year and then sign for New Guinea, Jake. You'd love it there, son. You and Tommy.
I think if there was one club where you could find a fan base that loves rugby league more than Jakey, it's Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, he'd fit right in.
The Kumals love
the Kumals, mate. They'd love Jake and they'd love the Trbojevic brothers. There'd be statues with them within a week.
And you know what the Kumals like? We talk about one of the OGs, triple OG, Stanley Gannay. He played to his 45. So Jakey's got another 12 years left.
You'll never retire there, Jake. He's I just think something like that, a 1 year deal, 600, still the captain.
Correct?
Yeah.
The floor's 500.
And with Turbo, they better offer him a deal, man. 758.
Yeah.
You know, and put him, I don't know.
7 to 8. You're right. 7 to 8. Probably like if you're Manly, you want 7. If you're Tommy, you want 8.
Yeah.
And he said he said last year he was willing to take a shave. So now he's got the opportunity to do that for Manly. And because those guys are club first, right? Mm-hmm. And like Ches is the captain, but those two are the leaders of the club, and they are beloved. By like in terms of Ches has got like the captain of the playing group, but in terms of like the community and all that sort of stuff, those two guys are the leaders.
Yep. So
then you get Fogarty on 650 for a couple of years. They could potentially have, if you take away Ches's mill, so Ches is on 1.3 or 4 by the end of it. Tommy was on 1.2. Jakey was on 900 to a mil. Yeah, right, you add all those up, there's about 3.5 mil there. So
less Fogarty.
So So you got to add Fogarty to it. So trim 650 off that, goes back down to 2.9. You trim say 500, you get Jakey for 5. That goes down to 2.4, and you get Turbo for just say even go 700 just to make it easier. You've got about 1.8 million to play with in a cap that's getting stronger as well. So you could potentially have, with the new salary cap, 2 million to play with. That's a premier half if you want to go for a half, because let's face it, I love the Fogarty signing. He's a stopgap. He's not a long-term option for him at this point as well. And then
it's hard.
Brooks has been an okay signing, but he's not someone like you watch Brooks every week going, fuck, he's the future now that Ches is gone.
Back to your little comment saying like get a mad half. That's the problem with the game, right?
Yeah.
That's why Cherry Evans is still demanding nearly $1 million and can still play, and he's nearly 37 and still play Origin, because we're not developing halves. That's the problem with the game. Go get a half. Everyone, who?
Yeah, but there's some huge names in and around that 2027. So this is where it was like, this is where you start looking like the names aren't there anymore because everyone's, removed those names or trying to re-sign them. And there will be clubs that are trying to do that to those guys in 2027. Yeah. But all the names that have been floated around at the time for Perth is like Jerome Hughes will be sort of thereabouts, and he'll probably have another couple of years. And the biggest name we'll move away from the halves is the one position they've been lacking since, I'd say, sort of Chalky, and that a presence through the middle. Payne Haas. Like, if he's to return back to Sydney,
there'll be everyone would open the checkbook up for that
1.6, 1.7. That's what he wants. And you say to Payne, like, you get to play with Turbo and Jakey and Kamole Olakawatu and Tolu Kola and stuff.
Imagine he's like, I know, like, he'd be in conversations with every Sydney club.
Yeah.
And they just like, what's the thing that'll get him over? Because I know it's not money. It is not money. He's not money orientated.
Money helps.
Money does help. I know, but he's not. I mean, like, you're going to be like, so. Just say the Roosters offering 1.5, the Dogs offering 1.4. It won't be because of the money.
No,
you'd have to be. It'd have to be
winning.
And most teams aren't going to be like fucking $500,000 off.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, you're not. People have got clubs have got a lot of money, and they're trying to shift.
People would, once clubs figure out what his price is, I think there will be 6 clubs that will have that exact same amount for him.
I'll just say, I think the floor bottom is like 1.5.
Agreed.
Just to go have a chat with Payne. How are you, mate?
Yeah.
1.5.
Yeah.
Shut up. Get out of here.
Tell you what, all those Parramatta supporters groups this week, we got mental.
Yeah.
Mate, he's another, Para, Bulldogs,
Mate,
fucking Roosters.
He'll change your fucking whole trajectory for a grand final win.
There's not only 16 clubs in the competition that would take him if he left Brisbane. There's 18 because there's 2 more teams coming in a couple of years as well.
And they'll pay him just to have a year off. So.
Can I throw a curly one in there for Tom? Do you think that he could play rugby union?
No.
That game's getting quicker and quicker. They've changed a few little rules here and there. That game's a lot more entertaining than it was 5 years ago.
Yes, he could. He could easily play it, but I don't think he doesn't strike me as a guy that would go to.
I think that's like, you know how like they came out the other day, they're talking shit about Nathan
Cleary would be a fucking gun.
Yeah, but I think like he's not attainable. Where if you're looking at Turbo situation, you're Australian rugby, you want
Cleary's not attainable. I reckon he's more attainable to fucking go to Union than sign with another NRL team. Do you reckon? When he comes off,
I don't.
He either goes to Union or he signs with Penrith.
Respectfully, because I know we've got some people that love us in rugby union as well. I think that's a bit of a beat up. I reckon
I think it is too. It's
it is.
attaching into the origin.
Of course it is.
Because we're just going through, like, because rugby league's thriving at the moment and it's in origin. Like, no one's really talking about rugby union at all. They've got a Lions tour and no one's even talking about it over here, right?
Yeah.
So
that's my point with Tom. It's like it's actually a target you could talk about that's legitimate.
Yeah, but also like it.
Like to me, it makes
it's
more
not
sense
even
him going to
rugby
play for the
union is not
Wallabies
even
than he
appealing
does.
to. It depends. It depends on the like. I'm looking at the. So if you bring up Kalen, because of the rumours in and around Kalen for so long, and then his background with rugby union, I could see Kalen at least having conversations. It's not even like Tom wouldn't even consider it.
They love it because, like, just so they went for Joey in 2003, right? They always go for the crown jewel.
For sure.
Like, of course, we want Cleary. You know, rumours, it'd be fucking great if you got Cleary. Easily suit Union. Perfect 10 or 9. Unbelievable. He's so good. He'd be so good in the transition because he just looks the part, right? He's just got everything. Kicking game, defense, passing game, digs into the line. Like he could be a gun in any sport. They did that with Joey about 2003. It was big rumours. He was nearly there. Nearly there. But the league just holds you back. It just fucking, you can't. But that's what they always try and do, go for your number one player. And
by the way, if Tom was to go to rugby union, just because his body's a little bit broken, he wouldn't be playing his Super Rugby. He'd go to France and get a shitload of money over there.
It's not. That ain't resting your body either. It's all they just don't like. The training will be a little bit off just if he goes overseas. It won't, because the training here is what gets you as a player, right? You're fucking the level is here. Fucking every day, young kids trying to get this. Like I was at Bulldogs train, just like, God damn, it's intense, right? That's why the longevity of players is like crazy. I don't think he's going to get the 15 plus anymore. Like Cam Smith, I saw his record of fucking four over 450 or something like. Because I saw the second guy, and then I was like, no, how many
Plus
games did he play?
What was the one you were saying? Would you say that on the show?
No,
50 tests, 50 origins.
I think I said that with Kempy yesterday or on the run home the other day.
Maybe with Cameron Munster, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was with money. It was too, yeah. So he has played.
470?
He's played 42 origins.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Just the normal NRL games, like 470, I think.
So 430. So 430 premiership games. But he's played more, I think he's played more representative games than I played NRL. Like
yeah, he's a 50 and 50.
NRL finals, chose Tri Nations of 5. 11 Anzac tests, 17 World Cup games, 19 Four Nations. So the All-Stars and the World Club Challenge as well. You throw them in there.
Yeah, I've played an All-Star.
It's a lot of just tying your boots up and just getting ready for a game.
That's what I mean. Like it's a lot of that. That's what I mean with training and that. You got to be on every fucking day, and not for the even the top dogs and everything like that. They know where they sit, but they just have to keep, driving the culture, and like especially with a team like the Bulldogs, it's starting a new culture that they're developing. The players have got to run it. At the end of the day, like they're trying to build it like that. So like guys like Kicks and Birdo and all these sort of blokes, they're running it. So the level is the level they go at, right? And Max King coming back from Origin, his level's gone up, right? So he understands when you get into camp, these guys aren't fucking around. You know what I mean? So that's the best thing for Max King to go into Origin and understand how these other guys train, right? And then you come back and it makes our other players like Sam Hughes and everyone a little bit better because Max knows, oh shit, this is how they move. This is how the big dogs move. I thought I was there. I know I can get there, and then I'll get back to club and make everyone go up to that level.
I'm pumped to see Maxi play this week.
Yeah. Be interesting, eh? Because he held his own.
Yeah.
Easily. See, the thing about Origin is, right, sometimes your debut can give you a false sense of like Origin, right? I don't think so everyone before the Origin, you're like, oh, fuck, it's the hardest game you'll ever play. If you honestly ask Max King if that's the hardest game he's ever played, I don't think you say yes.
Because they were so dominant?
Yeah, because he come on when they were dominant, right? And then, but if you ask fucking Liero or some of the benchies for Queensland, both were more like fucking just so quick, lightning, couldn't get any fucking ball, boom, boom, kick, where Max King was on, settled, taking kickoffs, taking play, like got over 100 metres. So his perception of Origin would be like, it's all right. It's not as hard as I thought. He won't say it out loud.
For sure.
But like even like when I was playing testing shit, I'm like, it's not that hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like even like, and just some like because like, I'm just saying because you put it on such a fucking pedestal,
and you were so dominant,
and it's like you're like, and Australia was so good. All you have to do is do your job.
Yeah.
What do I do? Just fucking run and tackle.
Makes your job easier.
My job is so much easier because I'm not worried about anything. Origin was a different beast, right? 2003, we got fucking pumped. Got pumped my first Origin. And then 2004, we won 2005. And you know what I mean? It was a bit different because those games were brutal. I never had a perception in my head that Origin was fucking ever a cruisy game.
What was your first test?
Against Great Britain, we won by 60. Yeah, it was. So
when you played
first touch-up was scored under the post.
Fuck. So when you played the Kiwis, did you feel the difference?
Fucking massive difference.
Gotcha.
That's different. And then playing England over there,
Yep.
they're fucking games.
Okay.
But my first test was against Great Britain. We won in the biggest history. Like it was the biggest 64-10 or something like that.
Yep.
Andrew Johns and Trent Barrett and fucking Darren Lockyer. And it was the ridiculous team, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting on the bench, just come on and just fucking.
Can you get that team up for me? What year?
2002. 2002. It was a Great Britain test, yeah. And that was
Australia.
just,
And then you played them over there and you're like,
and I was like, this is different.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we played New Zealand at the end of the year.
Your Origin one was the yarn that you say 64-10?
64-10. Yeah.
And you scored under the post.
Under the post, second touch.
What do you want? Which team?
Australia.
Fuck, you're the
Yeah,
best.
you're the fourth try scorer.
Yeah, second touch off Joey. I said, because I was shitting myself all week, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what do I do, Joey? He goes, just stay him inside.
Stay with me, big fella.
Just stay him inside. Boom, 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 straight under the post.
What team do you want?
Go through the lineup for me for that
Okay,
team.
stacked. Fullback, Lockie. Winger, Takiri and Tahu. Centers, Sean Timmins and Chris McKenna. Halves are Trent Barrett and Andrew Johns.
Yeah.
Webke and Riles up front. Danny Badiris, the hooker. Tallis, Steve Simpson in the back row. Scott Hill at lock. On the bench, you had Brent Tate, Steve Menzies, Willie Mason, and Jason Stevens.
Shit, Tatey and I debuted at the same time. Fuck, Tatey was a gun, man.
Tatey
Brent
was a
Tate.
gun, yeah.
Like, for having Brent Tate on the bench, why would you have Brent Tate on the bench back then when they usually would stack it?
Because he just
forced his way in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my first perception of a test, right? And I'm like, that's not that hard. It was physical. It was physical as hell. But I'm like, okay, it was tough and everything like that. But I'm like, you're playing with the best. And then you play against the Kiwis. That's fucking test. You played. Then that was probably the easiest test I've ever had against the Poms.
Yeah.
Because we were so good. And then we went over there those 3 games in 2003.
The Ashes?
Yeah. And then the 2005, 2006. It was fucking. Then and every
this
every
was
test.
at Aussie
Allianz,
Stadium. Yeah.
Can you go? Have you got the Great Britain team?
Yeah, I was going to say stacked
it's
names
stacked.
in that too. Chris Redlinsky, Paul Johnson, Paul Wellens, Keith Senior, Carl Pratt.
Yeah.
Halves is Paul Sculthorpe, Ryan Sheridan. Prop Terry O'Connor, hooker Kieran Cunningham, Barry McDermott.
Big one-eyed Barras.
Jamie Peacock and Stuart Fielden in the back row. Andy Farrell at lock. The bench is Chris Joynt, Martin Gleeson, Terry Newton, and Kevin Sinfield.
Yeah. Fucking side. They had it stacked.
Yeah. That was a young sort of Kevin Sinfield and all that coming through and Jamie Peacock, eh?
Yeah. Field and everybody, they were all in there. They were pretty stacked. Fucking
Farrell was a weapon.
Farrell was a weapon, mate.
Yeah,
Sinfield, fucking Sculthorpe, all those blokes could play. Yeah. They could have easily transitioned, but because back then it wasn't.
They were good too.
They were a good coin. Yeah. It wasn't like it is now. We were going over there because it was triple the money.
Yeah.
You get over there £150,000.
And to your point, the next
with the exchange rate.
The next Aussie game you played was in
New Zealand.
October against New Zealand. It was 32-24 Australia.
Scored again.
So you
2
did.
from 2.
1.
Yeah.
You got 1. Kid's got 2.
Yeah, I know. I said I'm 2 from 2.
Oh,
2
sorry.
tests, 2
I
tries,
thought you said
mate.
you got the double.
Nah, mate.
Yeah, it has him out there with you as well.
Hasn't debuted there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a mad photo. I got fucking hair. I reckon it was peak afro time too. I was about 6'9". Yeah, it was fun. That was the first test against Kiwis. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's a different level.
Yeah.
A lot of hatred.
And
in
Brent
that
Tate
one.
forced his way into the centres too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say Chris McKenna.
Chris McKenna was- yeah.
Fuck. Australia.
Well, Chris Anderson, it's very important with the coaching. No disrespect to Chris Anderson, but there was a lot of gun centres around there. But Chris Anderson, club coach at Cronulla,
Yep, that
big
makes
Jason Stevens and everything like that, were always getting runs because he trusts them.
Yeah.
It was it the Origin that year in 2002 or 3 where Tallis told you that you didn't belong there?
3, yeah.
Because
I just played 2 tests with him.
He was your captain.
Yeah, and but that's what I mean. That's the difference between where I would say that to a Queenslander, right?
You don't belong here.
I'll be like, yeah, and then but that's the difference in when I talk about the hatred between an Origin and stuff like that. I was like, for
some
what
reason-
you fucking say that for?
For some reason,
Should we play 2 tests together?
just recently I could see Gordy saying that to you, like Ashley Schaefer from Eastbound and Down.
Yeah,
You don't
get
belong
down
here,
here,
boy.
boy. Get in the crevices. Get deep in the crevices.
Get deep in the crevices,
Oh
boy.
god, yeah. But that's the little difference. And even like playing against like Nate Miles, like you drop an elbow on my head. His first Origin, right? I've arrived in that scene, and he's like, his first one, bang, gets up, and I'm like, fuck, like if it wasn't Nate, I'm punching on. And he goes, yeah, bang, slap me, and then fucked off. It's like, oh, you cheeky little fucker. 2006. Yeah, it's just a bit different, right? Where we're like, yeah, we're mates with shit like that. Yeah, we played some tests and that together. He's club. I've known him since he was fucking 17, right? And then next minute they get on that scene, and that's like, you're their worst enemy. And you sort of get shocked. You're like, you can expect it from like Croc, right? Croc's a maniac, and Justin Hodges and shit would go at each other. But like Nate, that was his first fucking Origin. He's like, gets up, slaps you.
Because you had a rivalry with Roosters at that time.
Yeah,
too,
but it was
you
cool.
expected
Yeah, so
from
Croc and I
Hodges
used to
there.
go at it, and it was, it was just all like not even trying to fight each other or anything. It was just real rough, like just cheap shots, and fucking you come in third man and hit ribs and fucking, it was pretty. Yeah, you could get away with it. Now they just be like,
While we're on it, rather than skipping away and then coming back to the question, let's go with the reshuffle. So, it was confirmed while we're doing the episode on Monday.
Yeah.
Mitchy Barnett, ACL out for the season, huge loss for the Wires. So after sort of just declaring them on Monday, and I still believe they've got a really good next man up mentality that's going to serve them well. But
the depth.
long term, when you lose, it's all right when you lose a guy for 6 weeks. To lose a player of Mitchy's status and what he's done for the club in the last 3 years, I think it's going to be really hard for them to overcome, because I always thought they were a squad that was not as talented as others, but playing above that. When you lose probably your most talented player or your leader up front with Fish, that's going to be really hard.
Fish has got a big job now.
Huge
He's got
job.
to turn back fucking the clock 3 years ago.
Yeah, Jackson Ford has been unreal when anyone's missed any footy, so he goes straight into that spot. What about the Blues though? While we're talking Origin, I'm not even considering Terrell, mate, for everything that happened in game one.
Yeah, Keon is my man.
Keon's the guy.
Yeah, I think him.
And by the way, let me clear it.
Skips a few.
So if you're only just tuning in for the first time, I had Terrell May in my in my game one team, but I just don't think he's even been considered by the New South Wales.
His performance
selection.
on the weekend as well was subpar. You wanted something a little bit more dynamic.
Who do they play?
They got pumped, I think. But he just didn't play
the
that
Cowboys
good.
game.
Yeah, didn't look great.
Two
that's
guys
what I'm
10
saying.
in
Like
the
it's just, but Keon, if he's not in there, like he wasn't in their 20-man squad.
Yeah,
like
does he jump Stefano?
Oh, I think so.
I think it's between them two.
I think Max
Stefano.
King. Does Max King start, or does one of those guys start?
I reckon you start.
Oh, Max can start. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
Because
different.
Maxie's going to give you like the similar energy that Mitchy Barnett give like front load all your energy, give me 20, 25, that's it. And you're coming off. And we're either going to get Spencer or Stefano or
Keon can play big minutes. They can all play big minutes.
I hope it's Keon. Nothing against Steph.
But I like him because he can play left edge, right edge, and middle.
Oath.
There's not many like that. Like say if someone goes down and Crichton or touch wood, Crichton or Liam Martin, Keon's in, he can play right edge, he shuffle the middle around, they can do whatever they want, or he can play left edge. Like there's not many like that, right? The middles can't. If you wanted a middle, you get Stefano, can you play right edge?
Yeah.
He could, but he can't play it at that level. With counting numbers, and you know how important that is to count numbers and get your line prep right. Where Keon can do all that.
So remember when I was talking about Wayne in that presser, and they're asking him a question about like where do you want to actually play Keon? Keon, his preference is, and Wayne sort of alluded to it. They all want to play left edge because why? Because Cody Walker's over there. Because Jack White and Latrell weren't fully fit. So Keon's preferred position is left edge back row. He's been playing either right or middle his entire career.
He's never played left.
He's never played left. So to have a guy who feels like his best position is left, but he's still played at an elite level, whether he's played middle or right edge.
It's just a player, mate.
He's a player.
He's just a player. You just need him on the bench. There's not many like that.
And then Stefano. It's just interesting one with Stefano.
Yeah. You got to have a middle who can play multiple positions.
Yeah.
Like you say, that's why you miss like a Cam Murray. You can have him on the bench and just like he can play middle, right edge, left edge, anywhere in the back line. You know what I mean? That's a big loss, Cam Murray.
That's what made Mitchie so valuable too.
Yeah.
Even though he's a front rower now, you could easily put him on the edge.
Because he come through as an edge player.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, let's go back to the question, and this one comes from YouTube, and it's around the coverage. And I like this question from Josh Pryor around the lack of New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup games it's at least on Fox.
They're on KO, I think, sometimes. I see.
I feel like there's only one game on a Saturday now.
Yeah, that's
randomly,
but it's
randomly. Sometimes it's not.
There's one. Yeah, there's always see a little bit on KO.
So here's the question. Big love as always to the skipper scope, Uncle Whittamoo. Every year I'm left scratching my head at how hard it is to watch New South Wales Cup games, Queensland Cup games Queensland Cup fans must be in the same boat. As a Roosters fan, I have to wait until June to watch the first and only game of the year. There is the New South Wales Rugby League subscription, but with the streaming quality and coverage, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. There's so much – I love that too.
I love that.
There's so much talent in these comps and barely any access. If there's NRL serious about growing the game, this is the low-hanging fruit. I'd be watching weekly, not just for my team, but any game with solid team lists. At the very least, give us a Saturday and Sunday game each week. Branded as part of the Super Saturday or the Sunday ticket. Plug it in previews, ads, panels. Make it part of the main show. Give the Pathways a platform and the Diehards another product.
Yeah, I like that.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Love it. A ticket game. Oh. The Super Saturdays, I'm sure they have. That's when you do see a host cup. I think it's called host cup. Is that Queensland Cup?
I think sometimes when the games are so when there's 3 games, maybe they remove it potentially because they've got to play so early.
The first game is usually before the first game.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
3 o'clock on Super Saturday.
Yeah. I think, no, even earlier or something like that. There's a reserve grade game, a New South Wales Cup game before the first Super Saturday. Then that's all they've got time for.
Yeah.
It's all fucking foot. It's all NRL from there.
It's broadcasting as well. It's like it has to be a broadcast game on before.
And also to factor in now, we're about to start the NRLW season at the end of the month as well, I think. So then there's allocated slots that are played so much earlier.
I think they'd be running at a loss to do it. It's probably that's why they've got the Bar TV thing. Which look, I've watched that before. Bar TV for it. It's not the worst, but it's by no.
If it's not on my KO sort of thing, I just
it's a separate online.
I just watch it live.
You'd need.
Yep.
And there was a funny thing once. I think the commentary went up into the Leagues Club, and you could hear them in the kitchen and having their games on.
That's the best.
It's a bit rats, but. You can obviously watch it.
Yeah, well, the reason I bring it up is because you know how much I love my American sports, and we get to it's about seeing the best young players, and I'm glad Josh mentioned it too because he's in a position right now where there are so many young kids that are playing for them for the first grade, and then he'd love the opportunity to see when they drop back down because some of the stars come back into the team, and I'm the same. So rather than us only seeing Owen Paddy come up with a really good 55, 60 minutes.
Yeah.
How cool would it have been to see Owen Paddy play last year more often? Then you see those rookies coming through and and be able to follow their journey a little bit more.
With how they name in 23, you know what I mean? Obviously, only 17 can play. The 18th man doesn't play. All the rest of those guys have to drop back to reserve grade.
Yeah.
So you actually know those players. They're always in the mix, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, fuck, he could be playing if someone drops out, you know? So you want to see how they actually play in reserve grade.
Most fans know the top 25.
Yeah, they do. Like, even top 530, they'll know everybody in there. And you're like, you sort of want to know how they're going. So, yeah, that's a
$19.95 it costs.
It's less about the cost and more about the
coverage.
The coverage, of course.
The coverage, and then also like when you're on KO, you're on. Like for example, when I'm at home, when I chuck on the TV, it's either apps for Lenny to watch something fucking on the kids, or it's like YouTube for me because I'm watching content, or I flick the KO to watch sports.
That's it. Same.
And or 7 to watch Mace.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
Every Monday and Thursday night, 6 o'clock. But that's the only other time you go to sort of the free to air channels. Really, or sometimes if I'm.
You're still a big free-to-air Friday night footy guy.
Depends on who the caller is for Fox.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on who the KO is caller is.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll be listening to it and no names.
I don't have Channel 9.
No names. Oh, don't you?
No, my phone, like I got to subscribe. I don't know. Like I tried to watch it on the other day.
As soon as it asks you for an email and a password,
I'm done. I'm done. As soon as any fucking information. Too hard basket. Back to KO.
He's actually called me. Lukey, can you come
Lukey, what's my email, mate?
Willie, can you put in your email?
Fuck no. No. Boom. Straight back to KO. KO's goodie.
Depends on who the caller is. And normally, for the most part, the big games you get consistency. Every now and again, one of the big dogs might be out and they throw you a curly one. I just go, Channel 9.
Little free ad for SEN here. I couldn't believe that feature where it like times it with the
it's good, the sync. Yeah.
So on the SEN app on your phone, it'll be like KO or the broadcast.
And you hear these guys.
Lukey's been messaging me during
and you hear these guys.
I text through to the thing, piss him off.
On
the live call.
Give me the number.
Sometimes they just read it out and they don't vet it, so you can get a little bit cheeky in there.
Yeah, 0457 736 736. Send us a text.
What's up, Aussie?
Yeah. Get some L1 from day one.
Yeah. Mate, there's so many.
Get in.
We get it all the time. Yeah. It's you know how you get it in the streets.
Mate, they love
that's when I get it when I'm on SEN.
It's good.
Lukey's messaged me a couple of times during the call and he gave me some information which was
when Paddy Carrigan did his lip.
Yes, he did too.
I was coming down the freeway from Mum's listening to the coverage.
Yeah, good to that.
So my man's looking after me. So we're talking and going,
Dream team.
Fuck, there's reports because we can't look at the fucking internet while we're calling games. And it was the Paddy Carrigan injury.
I texted you directly for that one. I didn't text the hotline.
Yeah, you did too. Yeah, and
thank you.
And they're like
the hotline bling.
Yeah, the Paddy Carrigan could be out of Origin, and then he's like, he messaged me. He goes, no, he's got to get surgery, but he's all good because we thought it was a broken jaw.
Yeah, so
that was the chat.
To clear that up because it was outlandish.
And I got some breaking news, guys.
It's me that's texting.
It's Lukey.
I've got breaking news. I've been researching.
Lukey Wildler.
Lukey Shamus.
Lukey Shams. Lukey Shamas.
Anyway, where were we? Queensland Cup.
Queensland Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. That's the NRL thing.
Yeah. But
you just got to get out there. If your team, whatever, you got to get out there and watch it live.
For sure.
Yeah.
But the popularity of college over there would be something that we should try to replicate with the New South Wales Cup. I think that's a good shout.
Definitely
and the Queensland Cup.
More game time, right?
Yeah.
Little bit.
All right, we were talking at length about Keon Kalamatangi being the guy to replace Mitchy Barnett because his club form has been unreal, mate. So it is time for the RLPA Player of the Month. The main nominees are James Tedesco of the Sydney Roosters, Keon Kalamatangi from the next door neighbours at Rabbitohs who are trying to become no longer neighbours. They want to play at the same stadium, and that's been going on for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
It's heating up, though.
It is heating up. I reckon it's a chance. That's why Roosters are getting the shit.
They're putting the foot on the throat.
Yeah, and Joe Kelly seems going out and talking about all the games there. By the way, the pitch is in awful shape, and Fletch threw out a really good one. Sorry to go back to the end again. So Fletch threw this out on the run home yesterday. It's Roosters' home ground, but the pitch is fucking awful.
Awful.
So... And there's Sydney FC and there's also
the Waratahs.
And
then
if Rabbitohs are to sign, then Rabbitohs have to pay for the new pitch, and they get that double synthetic. So that's what they got.
Yeah, right.
So he was saying the reason Suncorp's so good is because they've got a combination of Astro with real grass together.
Right.
Super expensive. So if you're the Roosters, go, all right, Rabbitohs, you can come join us. but you come and pay for the new turf.
Be worth it, I reckon.
That'd be worth it.
That'd be worth it. That'll test how much South want to play there.
And I imagine it's really expensive too. Because if Roosters aren't paying for it and when it's looking that bad, it must be really expensive.
When I watched the Sunday ticket, I think, when I watched the last game, was it the Roosters game? Roosters in Canberra. I'm like,
awful.
Has it just been raining on Allianz?
No one had played.
And and it was a beautiful day on Sunday. Yep. And it was like, did it just piss down on Allianz or did they just water it? Like compared to watching it at Homebush or Parramatta Stadium, CommBank, like they look pristine, those grounds. And I'm like, this is a fucking joke.
So the last time anyone had played on that ground?
Greenkeeper.
Greenskeeper Willie.
I reckon he's under threat.
He's under the pump.
Like if there's greenkeepers looking for new contracts.
Yeah, big time.
Surely. But it'd be to do with the SCG Brains Trust, wouldn't? Like it's whoever's doing the SCG. It's all part of the same.
It's a whole thing. Yeah,
so just stick to cricket pitches.
It's the same guys from Accor and Allianz. They own the same.
Yeah. It ain't just one dude. It's a fucking whole group.
Just stick to cricket pitches and just get the rugby league guys in and put a pitch in.
Well, it's this is why Fletcher's proposal makes so much sense because it must be money.
It would be awful to play soccer on. Like if you're Sydney FC, it'd be a terrible pitch for that too.
It's a shit ground for everything.
Like you just see clumps of mud.
Yeah,
it was like this from day dot.
Yeah,
yeah.
In the women's origin in the West.
Yeah, so 2 weeks previous, that was the last time anyone played on it, right?
Yeah, well, they haven't recovered from that. They haven't recovered from that origin game. Yeah. That's what it looked like. It was a fucking aftermath of that.
But it's not like the
drainage, mate.
It's not like the women's origin game was on Thursday night because it was. But it was in Newcastle. Yeah. That was fucking 3 weeks ago at Allianz. Game 2. Livy Koenig, man of the match, player of the match. Sorry,
she carved up home turf.
Gun and player of the series. Had a little bit of juice on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to the player of the.
I just remember that Hello Sports. Yes, I'm like
Koenig.
He's on
unders. Koenig and unders.
All right.
RLPA Player of the Month. Let's go back and we'll start from. We need to give these guys the credit that they deserve because they have had the months of doom. James Tedesco, skipper of the Sydney Roosters, has been outstanding. Keon Koloamatangi from the South Sydney Rabbitohs and Lukey Matt from the Warriors, from the second place Warriors, New Zealand Warriors. Luke Metcalf has had a really good season and month. So the key stats for all three players in May, that is rounds 9 to 13 and includes Origin. But with Origin, I think the Origin players are affected because they miss basically a game and then they also play tied in the second game back. So Tedesco had 4 games, 2 tries, 4 try assists, 4 line breaks, 30 tackle breaks. He's averaging 63 post, and that's on top of 219 in total running metres. Koloamatangi, 4 games, a try assist, an average of 40 tackles per game. 16 tackle breaks, 90 post, 212 metres.
Damn.
And Lukey Matt, 5 games, 4 tries, 3 try assists, a field goal, 3 forced dropouts, 5 line breaks, 14 tackle breaks, and an average of 87 run metres per game.
That's good for a half. What is he? Is he Queensland or New South Wales?
What? You're asking that question?
No, what would he be like if he's
and
if
I love
keeps
it.
ascending like that? Like, come on.
And I love it. And this is
could be
why
a 14 or something. Fuck.
And this is why I love, and we can easily have an opinion on someone, and then he's flipped the way you think about him.
100%.
I love that.
That pace that he comes off with the bench and shit, like he could be pushing. If he keeps doing whatever he's doing at halfback and can slot 6, he could play fullback. He could play anywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, but I'm saying he could easily slip that at a 14. He could play 9 if you wanted him. If he keeps going like that.
Yeah. I need to see
dynamite off a bench, man.
I need to see it for the full season.
Yeah. I'm just saying. You do this for another year, this year plus next year. He's going to be in the running for Dally M this year. This kid.
He's a player Billy would pick.
Yeah.
Billy,
like Billy just picks these sort of guys that's sort of on the fringe that are guns. Like, and just justifies it with that West or Queensland.
Oh, justifies.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if he keeps sending like this is his first real seven year, and then there's another year next year, and then in 2 years he could be.
I love the reason I love that you say that because I was watching him on the weekend and for everything that we said in the review, and I was like, all right, sweet. I'm good now. Because they're like, even though you were, you at the start you were like, fuck no, here. That game 1 was so bad for everyone at the Warriors that we're all like, fuck, they could get the spoon.
We just flipped on him, mate. We flipped on it. It's Vegas, mate. It's Vegas.
And then
they weren't prepped.
And then he hit us with the fucking shush and blocked the noise out. From then on,
I loved him.
Well, Waz fans, we've got a huge Waz fans following.
Yeah.
Can one of these fans go on his Wikipedia and update his photo from his New South Wales Cup?
Yuck. That's
so
what they
Waz
have.
fans.
I've got the New
I
South
want the
Wales
shush.
Cup.
I want to see
Yeah,
Lukey
someone-
Metcard's
yeah.
shush as his Wikipedia photo.
For sure. That's the photo.
Yeah.
That's the photo. But what a cracking month for
Yeah, good month.
mate. You know what? And so not to give it away, but all three of these guys. So there's a panel of about 5 or 6 of us. I think I've said it before.
Yeah.
So it's like Woodsy, Josh Morris is part of it, James Graham, or whatever. And there's who am I forgetting? Dean Hullatow.
Oh, good.
And all three of these guys
Good crew.
were my guys as well. And basically we're all the same. Normally there's like 6 guys that get shortened into 3. And then all of us basically had the same 3 players. So credit to the players this month. And everyone was all, it's whether you gave them 3 or 2 or 1 or whatever.
Teddy could slightly be in the top 5 Dally M finish as well.
Well, I reckon it's
Yeah.
going to be Metcalf and Tedesco. By the
Yeah,
end of the
because
year.
Teddy, because the whole formula, like
Yep.
that's a gun player in a side that's not full of superstars. When they win, it's Teddy's usually on Teddy.
Yep,
I'll
for
read
sure.
the. Do you want to go through the leaderboard? We haven't done that.
Yeah, I guess
Before it broke up last week, right?
Yeah. So the leaderboard is. Hang on, I've got to scroll to the bottom of the article.
Yeah.
After round 11,
Yep.
Lukey Metcalf, 30 points.
Yep.
Will Kennedy on 29.
Yeah, what a
Terrell
season.
May, 27.
Yep.
Teddy, 24.
Yep.
Payne, 23.
Yep.
Gutho, 22. Munster, 21.
Yeah.
And then you got Jaya and Ryan Pappenhausen on 20. Dearden on 19.
It's Teddy's and Metcalf's to lose, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. If fit,
Yeah.
if healthy.
Man, Teddy's going to get all the games in between
Crazy
Origin.
run.
In between Origin, he's going to get all those games
Yeah,
as
he
well.
is.
Like, so he can just accumulate. If he keeps playing, he's playing his best football I've seen.
So that was
Fucking
round
years,
11.
Teddy.
I'm just getting like round 12 up. Sorry, mate, as we keep going here.
Trying to get who your moms are.
So yeah, just out of those two, it's seeing if they're polled vote. So round
They
12,
both would have, man.
Roosters pump Sharks, Teddy 6 points.
Yeah.
Raiders, Warriors lost to Raiders, Metcalf no points. Then the
Round 13.
Roosters went down just to the Raiders. Teddy was good without being great.
You wouldn't have got any.
Roosters were
If it
dominating that
want,
game for
if
a
we-
while.
yeah.
You could get a oneer.
He get one.
I reckon he could even jag as in a double one, so 2 points. Lukey Met, strong chance. Chance Nickel Klugstad, strong chance. Latrell would have polled votes in the Warriors, 36-30. I reckon maybe Lukey Met gets another 3 or 4, like maybe a 2, maybe a 3 and a 1.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think
something
Teddy's
like that.
leading it.
No, Metcalf was in
Metcalf?
front going into it. So
But not by much, right?
yeah.
6 points.
Six
Well, that
points.
game could have
6,
equalised
okay.
them,
Yeah.
like you said. So, it could be
So
pretty
yes,
close.
yes, you're
So
right.
I mean, Teddy
Could be
could be
pretty
like
close.
1 or 2 points because he's just very consistent what he's doing now. Wow. Imagine Teddy wins
With
that.
the 6 point system, you can go on a run.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Imagine
jumps.
3 MOMs are just like, and that's what Teddy's
Boom, 18
capable of,
points.
right? Because the halves are sort of, it's up to Teddy when they win.
All right, let's get to our winner for the TGM Pro Series compressor giveaway. So congratulations to Goofachoff, one of the great usernames. TJM were great when I modified my Navari D22, had their front and rear bar, and they copped massive abuse with no issues. I would recommend their products to anyone. You get while you pay for their toughness and durability. Now have a 2018 BT50 that I am about to modify, so it would be great to win this prize. Goof, you've won it. What I need you to do is reach out to our man Lukey Stowe at
partner@levelsnetwork.com.au.
Yep, send your details, screenshot, and prove that
Screenshot your comments so
that
we
is
know
your
it's your
comment.
YouTube account. And we'll
you
go
will
from there.
get that prize, that compressor that we're giving away. TJM's end of financials year sale is here as well. So it's headlined by 30% off XGS Roma suspension and up to 25% off selected canopy ranges. Mace, right down the bottom there, the sale ends. What are the details, please, mate?
Then June 27, get a quick quote for your rig and save now. It takes less than 5 minutes.
Easily done. Thank you to TJM. We are organising potentially another giveaway for those guys moving forward. So we'll have more details for that for you guys on the next episode. But we love everything about TJM in 2025. Let's get to the footy, Mace.
Yeah.
Knights versus Seagulls is on tonight at 7:50 p.m. and it's at Alec McDonald Jones Stadium. Callum Ponga is back in the number 1 jersey, so therefore Fletcher Sharp goes to 5'8". Cogger is the halfback. Brodie Jones starts in the front row. Leo Thompson got 4 games for that crusher tackle.
Oh, did he deserve 4? Was that
No.
that's a message?
It's a loading.
It's a loading?
Low, but they missed the one the couple of weeks before.
There's been
I
a
think
couple of
it's-
crusher tackles recently. I didn't think that one was crazy bad.
I thought he slipped out.
I think he deserved a game for it, but
4 is ridiculous this time of the year.
the loading is, especially for them, because they've got no middle.
Wow.
Jacob Saifidi is out as well, injured.
Yeah, they need one big boy in the middle. They've got no one.
Tab have Newcastle at $2.
Hold on, mate. Hold on. Easy tab. Because we want to give the rookie.
chocolate.
We've got a debutant here, Lukey. Elijah Celeste Louis Moana. How do you reckon? Leia Moana.
Leo Moana, yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
So congratulations to Elijah. I have not heard his last name pronounced before,
Yeah.
so hopefully I didn't completely butcher it for you,
Let
brother.
us
But
know.
congratulations, you will make your debut off the bench.
Good on you, mate.
Greg Marzou was also a part of the extended squad, so watch out for potential late.
They'll
change
need
there.
him too, just getting out of yardage.
Big
He's
time.
big time. He needs a 200 game plus.
When you don't have the 2
200
starting front
metre
rows,
plus,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
Big time.
As for the Seagulls, Jakey is back after missing 2 games with concussion, so Jazz Tavanga slides to the bench. Matt Lodge drops out. Josh Alloway injury sees Toff Sipley earn a recall. Lukey, it is time.
It is time. Tab have Newcastle at $2.90. Manly are $1.42. The line is 6.5.
This is a game where, when play for both these clubs, but Knights really use that 97 grand final for inspiration, because we always speak about when they get Chief and everyone in there. So it is going to be one of those games where they need to win. They need to start rolling some games together.
They're desperate.
Otherwise, they're fucking going to be bottom 4. That's what it seems like it's going to happen, especially if they lose this game. They need to start collecting wins through this origin period. And it looks like just with Leo Thompson and Saifidi and everybody out, they're all over the shop, mate. I don't see anyone. I see the Eagles winning this.
Yeah.
I do. It's just going to be a hard game up there.
I do as well, but with no confidence.
No, zero confidence in the Eagles. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing to me this year, but fuck, imagine being one of a proper fan.
Oh, here's one to watch for. So I'm just looking at the late male squad. So 1 to 17 still currently. Greg Marzul part of the reserves. Jackson Hastings. This is the furthest his name has got. He is currently the 18th man.
Might play him in the middle.
I reckon he should
playing, man.
I reckon he should play lock.
Fuck,
I reckon he
just
should play lock 14.
get something out of him, right? He's on your books.
He's on an 800,000.
Yeah, get something. He can honestly play the game. There's obviously a different rap on him as a human, but as a football player, he can get you some games. You're at that place where you're pretty desperate to win football games. Maybe he's your little SOS.
I think he should honestly be looking at right now at this point of his career exactly what Dylan Walker and Connor Watson and that are doing, and just try to replicate that. You can punch out another 3 or 4 years as long as you sort the off field.
You mean going down playing off the bench and playing lock? He has got the leg speed for that. He is nowhere near Connor Watson or Dylan Walker. They're fucking lightning.
I know, but
I'll get him over 42.
You'd smoke him.
Easy.
I'd back you
Easy
over
work.
him over Chapo.
Easy work.
I would beat Jackson
Chapo
Hastings.
smokes him as well.
I reckon Lukey
Chapo
would,
and him.
I reckon Lukey would beat Jackson Hastings.
I used to be quick.
Yeah, look, he's a sprinter.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not saying that he's got their leg speed, but just
Skill.
It's the tip-ons. It's the creating. It's having the big boys run off you to create that.
Okay.
The thing that's been holding Jackson back for ages, and look, I've said it for years, and I don't want to just keep drumming down, but he's got to sort. And maybe this period, because this has been probably the longest period where he's been at a club and sat in New South Wales Cup, could have humbled him, to the point where maybe he's changed a few things. So
I hope he has, and he goes on a bit of a run and they win some games up there, because a lot of jobs will be at stake if they have a really disappointing season. That's a fucking top 8 roster there.
I think it's more important because of Fletcher Sharp's 6 too, because he's not an out-and-out 6. You maybe need that extra player. So, for example, the reason Dylan Walker helped out Dylan Brown so much is because he's more of a ball-running half.
Yeah.
So you have more creativity through the middle. It doesn't just leave you Jack Cogger. It just doesn't leave you Dean Hawkins when Mitch isn't there. Does that make sense?
I know what you're saying. Coming off the bench and just being that ball player, moving your forwards a little bit wider than the ruck, and just getting them, just moving them onto the ball.
Yep.
And being that guy and taking the pressure off a Cogger.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Without taking over the whole thing, because he loves to get the ball like 60 fucking times. You don't have to do that, mate.
And he's a chunky little thing too.
But he's got to defend in the middle.
Yeah.
Do it. You just got to do it.
To.
As if you want to play reserve grade or defend in the middle for 40 minutes.
Exactly.
Fucking defend in the middle.
Yeah.
And just toughen up. Eagles still.
Eagles with no confidence.
No confidence at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle win 26 to fucking 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
13 plus.
Kalen comes
Knights
back
13 plus.
Yeah, I think Kalen. I'm looking for huge games from Kalen, and this next game, Baby Goat, Harry Grant. I think he's in for a huge game. So there's a little teaser for my multi coming
That's what the greats do. The greats will do that. They'll just tear teams apart by themselves and put them on their back.
All right, Storm versus Cowboys, Friday, 6 p.m. at Amy Park.
Got the Eagles,
Xavier
mate.
Coates and Harry Grant return after being rested in 13. Trent Liero will start coming off the bench. Bronson Garlick goes to the bench. Sul Falongo to the reserves. Joe Chan also makes way, and Alec McDonald is amongst the reserve. Alec McDonald is listed amongst the reserves. Rocket Rod of the Peyton variety has named the same 17 that got the money against the West Tigers last week in a thriller. So, Lukey Stowe, the bro.
We've got $1.18 for Storm. Tab have North Queensland at $4.80. The line is 15.5.
Oh, damn. It's a big line.
It's a big line, eh?
For Cowboys.
I love that you are starting to understand.
I understand. I was like, that's too much for the Cowboys. They can score that.
It took you 3 years to figure out what a line is, but you now know that that's too much for the Cowboys.
Yep. I'll take the Cowboys with that line.
Yeah.
Because I think they got some footy in them. Storm are just in a bit of a lull. But this scares the shit out of me. But because of Harry Grant, I think he just wants to get out there and just play footy.
Yeah.
You know, he's had a bit of a rest. He didn't have to back up. Now he's going to front load into this game.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not going to be a flogging. The Cowboys are actually all right.
So
playing some good football.
I fully agree that the line was too much. So I'm just going to take a little bit off it, Mace, and I've just gone 13 plus. Right? So you just, extra couple of points is about right for this game.
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I've got Melbourne 13 plus. I love that it's down at Amy Park. And I'm expecting a bounce back game, and I'm expecting a fully recovered Harry Grant from that problematic hamstring injury that kept him out before Origin. He only got the one run before it. Harry Grant scores anytime. And also, I think the Melbourne Storm have been too east-west of late. I reckon they play more north-south. They play more direct. And whenever they play more direct, the main culprit or the person who gets him into that, Jerome Hughes.
Yeah. Yes.
7. He's the 7. I think they've been going too sideways recently. So give me the Melbourne Storm 13 plus, Jerome Hughes anytime, Harry Grant anytime for a price of $13.
Yep.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
Harry Grant, they're dangerous, these great players, when people start, bagging their game a little bit. He's had a few little things pointed at him, Harry, and which he's never had before. A little bit of criticism on his game. Maybe a little bit last year, maybe a little bit. But this year, like, people fucking said he's played his worst Origin game. He's done things like that.
Even the stats that I brought
The
up.
stats, yeah. Yep. And I'm like,
starting.
great players will just bounce back and just fucking terrorize.
You know one name, and he's a part of the extended bench here. So we'll get to that. I've got one more change that could be made. You know how I talked about the 2 Toms from the Dolphins that are missing?
Yeah.
That could be, I think, would help the result that happened in round 1 with just the physicality. The other one is the psychopath, Max Plath. I would play him. I can't claim that too. That's
no, Clay, who said that?
Dan and Camp.
Oh, no.
It's his best. It gets me every time.
Psychopath.
So I'll be doing the show with him going
Nice.
through this on Wednesdays.
That was good.
and he hits me with the psychopath and I start losing.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so the Dolphins, they welcome back Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow after their win against the Bulldogs. So Jake Averillo goes back to the centres. Max Fiangai goes to the reserves. And then we've got star hooker Jeremy Marshall-King and Max Plath listed amongst the reserves. So hopefully for the Dolphins' sake, they get at least one of those guys back. As for the Dragons, Luciano Leilua comes in the starting side. Jaden Sewer is sidelined with that ankle injury. Raymond Faitala-Mariner joins the bench. And the money man, Jerry Christian Tuipulotu is back on the wing. Tyrell Sloan is the player to miss out. Nathan Lawson, the rugby union convert, he retains his spot.
That's weird.
Lukey, what are the odds?
What's that?
$1.55 to Dolphins. St. George at $2.45 with tab. The line is 4.5.
It's disrespectful to the Dragons, isn't it? I'm going Dragons. I like the Dragons. I know Marshall King's back and Max Plath, but they've been
Not 100%. They're part of the reserves.
But if they get a run, they're a bit underdone.
Yep.
I'll see them in 2 or 3 weeks, and then that'll be a different Dolphins side. Even with Hammer, I mean, he's played a couple of good games, but he's been down on what I'm used to seeing. Like he's
to his level.
Like maybe there's an injury or something happening there. It's just not really clicking for the Hammer this year. It happens, but I like the Dragons. I like what I saw last week.
Yep. I was looking at this game. I was tossing up, where do I go? I think, you look at, can Gutho will them to another victory? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
At Suncorp, they got a victory there about 3 weeks ago against the Broncos team. They weren't expected to win. Do you know why the reason I'm going the Dolphins? I think they've got the best player on the field. And in a game where I couldn't decide who I'm going to go, I think Isaiah Cattell got me over the line for the Dolphins, even though they're missing some players. And, I think maybe both Jeremy Marshall-King and Plath could
they'll be nicely rested up.
They're both, they're coming off a bye.
Good win against the Dogs.
Win against the Dogs in the rain.
Katoa took us to school.
So I've gone the Dolphins.
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Dragons just because. But I like that fucking
changing
Katoa
never
thing.
works too.
Yeah,
Whenever you change off your tip, you end up it ends up going the other way.
Sewell's a big loss.
Yeah, he is.
So I thought he would have been near the he'd be in talks with with Queensland, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
Just that real aggressive sort of person.
Yeah. A big loss too because they lost Dylan Egan 3 weeks ago in the Broncos game for the ACL for the season as well. So it's both the edge back rowers.
Yep.
Sharks versus Warriors Saturday 5:30 p.m. at Shark Stadium. They lose Ronnie Mulatalo to suspension for that hit on Marky Mark a couple of weeks ago. So Sione Katoa returns from a shoulder reconstruction.
Jeez.
It's his first game of the season. He did that in the first trial game, and he's back
already
from an ankle.
Oh,
that's early,
quick. What's that? 6 months?
3 months. 3.5, 4 months.
Full Uncle Rico?
Don't know. Mustn't be. Must have just been a clean out.
Can't be. Yeah, it should be like a. Yeah, well, they'll be fucking attacking him massively.
Teague Wilton is also back from a shoulder injury, so third-degree burns goes back to 18th man. As for the Warriors, Jackson Ford will start at the game for Mitchy Barnett. Hard-running back rower Leka Halasima has been promoted to the side, so Kurt Capewell goes to the centres. Rocco Berry is out, but instead of promoting Ali Lautea, he's still part of the extended squad. They've gone with Kurt Capewell in the centres.
He's been good in centres, but since I've fucking said he couldn't play good in the centres.
Been taking it personally, the Warriors. They must just be watching out.
Stop.
Shout out to Jackson Thomas, Jackson. He just must
This is what they said about you.
100%.
Capes?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Jacob Laban and
I'll start wrapping them up.
Tanner
Told ya.
Tanner Snell-Smith are the new faces on the bench. Lukey, what are the odds for this game, mate?
Odds for this game, $1.47 for the Cronulla Sharks. Warriors at $2.70. The line is 6.5.
It's be a hard game. $2.70.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Fucking Warriors, one player.
They like playing at Sharks. Have they got results at Sharks Stadium the last 2 years?
Yeah, remember Shawnee's last game?
Yes, and the year before they had that really good comeback as well.
Yeah,
the year before, that's what started the 2023 run, I believe.
Yes. Oh, God. I don't know who. This is going to be so close, this game. This would be a yuck game. Be so physical.
Adam Fanor-Blake too, against Fish.
Yo, jeez. I'm going the Warriors. I'm going the Warriors. Just so, because they lose, it's a win-win.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel about that one. I'm on the Sharkies.
I think, I mean, I don't mind Jackson Ford. You know, like Mitch Barnett's work rate and his presence is going to be lost, right? But like, he's still got fish there. He'll just step up. He always does. Jackson Ford has been playing outstanding. You read his stats last week off the bench, so he can obviously start. He's put on a bit of weight too, so he can fit into that front rower's position easy because he was a back rower sort of thing. And I think he's put about 5 or 6 kilos of muscle and he looks pretty strong. So, yeah, I like the Warriors.
Yeah, I like the Sharks. Sharks should go on a run during Origin period. They'll be disappointed with the result against the Roosters going into the bye. Adam Fanua-Blake had I don't know if it was a throw-off, but he had his arm in a sling after that game. Yeah. After the Roosters game, he was pictured just with his arm in a sling. I don't know, like no one added him too.
No, would he just do that?
I don't know. Just maybe trying.
Why would he do that?
No, I don't know. Just Adam's he's a funny character.
Yeah.
So I'm on Sharks because I think if Sharks are legit this year, they have to take advantage of this period going through Origin.
I think Ronaldo Mulitalo's absence is bigger than you think. He holds a lot of energy with that side.
Yeah.
And I know Sione Katoa, he's a top winger when he's fully fit.
Yep.
Coming back from a reconstruction, he'd be kicks over his head, to be up in the air. Like it's like they'll be exposing him like crossfield kicks, trying to get up in the air. Like it's just going to be.
So his preferred side is right. Roddy has been playing right because Mortalo's been out.
Tuivasa on that side.
So he'll be going. Katoa will be going against Tuivasa.
Tuivasa's strong too, man. Even if he just runs with the ball and at him. Yeah. You know how strong Roger is at the moment. Look at him. He's just unstoppable near the line.
Yeah.
Where like that contact, bang, that first initial contact, and then it's the wrestling and re-gripping on Rog, which people really struggle with because he's so fucking strong. Yeah. And he's got footwork, so he can get you a couple of ways. If you isolate him one-on-one near the line, they just little fucking with a couple of meters to remove, I reckon he'll back himself against Katoa.
The best part of Katoa's game is his yardage carries as well. Is he going to have as much?
Well, you just can't. I mean, I'll give him about four weeks and he'll be back to his best, 4 to 6 weeks, but not just coming. If this is a full shoulder reconstruction, please let us know in the comments. That's a big time. They're asking a lot.
All right, we've got some huge ins for the Broncos versus Titans. Saturday, 7:35 p.m. at Suncorp Stadium. This is a real danger game. This could be
the dagger.
This could absolutely, completely derail the Broncos if they're unable to win this game. No disrespect against our man Fozzie and the Titans, but the Broncos welcome back Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh will play his first game since round 7. So Cobbo returns to the wing. Dean Mariner drops out. Corey Jensen has been promoted to prop. Paddy Carrigan is finally moved back to lock. Kobe Hetherington the bench. Brendan Piakura has been named to start. Xavier Wilson to the bench.
That's a
better. That's it.
Yeah.
That's like just let it play out now for 2 or 3 weeks. I know it's hard.
Let it stick. Let it stick for like a month. Get through Origin with the same fucking team. Hopefully there's no injuries, but that seems like the mix, right? Jensen did a job for him like last year. Like he didn't let anyone down. Then the Piakura, Xavier Willison those guys need to really like
second phase.
Yeah, they need to really make an impact when they're coming off the bench. Make some noise where it's not a big disparity between Payne Haas, and then when Payne goes, you put Willison on and it just goes, at the start of the year, it looked like Payne was getting a rest. They didn't lose any momentum.
Yeah, that first game.
That was the first game. Remember? I was like, okay, they figured it out how to use him. Yeah. Now it's like I see Payne playing more minutes and more minutes because he doesn't have trust in his benchies.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm Willison or if I'm like anyone on the bench, I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing my job because Payne's not getting a rest after 30 minutes without destroying a team. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, we're making him play 70 minutes every game.
AJ Brimson suffered a concussion before the captain's run last week, which ruled him out. So Alan Fitzgibbon has been recalled on the wing. Phil Semi slides to the centres. Jojo Fafita ruled out with a broken hand. Sean Mullaney is the new hooker in place of Sam Verrills. Is that a
Mullaney?
Potentially. The new face on the bench is Adamaho and he comes in for Isaac Fasuamalawi. So, yeah. AJ Brimson, 18th man. If all the symptoms are fine from the captain's run knock, then he should play, right?
Yeah.
What would be the shuffle there? I reckon he goes to centres and Phil Sammy goes to the wing and Alan Fitzgibbon goes to the reserves.
Alan Fitzgibbon. Has he played before?
Yeah, he's played a couple of games for him. He's the Indigenous winger. He's
Okay, yeah, all right,
he played against the Dragons about 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Off the
Broncos.
Judy.
The Broncos have to.
Have
They
to, right?
have to win. They have to win.
Even
Reece
when you
Walsh,
said have to.
like Reece
I know, I was trying to
Reece
segue.
Walsh is back, and like he's had 7 weeks off, so that should be nearly, time to really ramp it up a bit. He only did his medial, I think, so he'd be looking to get back to exact. Like, I don't think he's going to come back and go, I'm going to start all over again. Like, I don't think he's going to miss that much, right? Because his combinations with Ezra Man, you watch him just slot straight in. I reckon straight in, not really miss a beat.
It's such an intriguing watch.
Yeah.
Lukey, what are the odds for it for Tab?
We've got Tab Think Brisbane as well, $1.30, $3.50 for the Gold Coast. The line is 11.5. It's also Reynolds 300th.
Yeah.
And they're rocking the black kit as well.
Ooh, nice.
All black, which we should have
For men's,
on Monday.
men's
Okay, awesome. And that's for
men's health.
mental health.
Yeah.
What a great initiative for the team. 300 for Adam Reynolds.
Yeah, great work, Reno.
I have absolutely no faith in the start in this team, even though on paper it should be 13 plus. I'm just going to take the win for the Brisbane Broncos. They just need to find a way to get a victory, and then they can find those 13 plus wins down the road.
Yeah.
And you're right, with Reece Walsh back, I reckon we get the best version of Ezra Mam. He's already scored in both his games in return, so let's go Ezra Mam for a try. And I feel like Walsh's best side, even though Jesse Arthurs is leading the tries for the Brisbane Broncos, I reckon Selwyn Cobbo gets one on the right. You get $4.20 about a relatively conservative multi for the Brisbane Broncos because I'm a little bit hesitant because they're a
'cause it's the
talented team
Broncos.
that haven't been playing to their level.
Do we know what Reece Walsh, what knee he injured? Was it his right or left? It's very important for that try as well. If he's going to go, because he's a left foot, predominantly left foot when he comes.
I feel like I seen him. I feel like right. I feel like it's right.
So he'd be
I
going
remember
left. He'd
watching
be
the
going
game.
left a lot.
Yeah,
He'd be going left a lot if he's done his right, so he can straighten up.
he's
off
the
his
opposite
left.
of Derek
Yeah.
Zealand.
Yeah, he can
Can't turn right.
Another ambi turner.
It's not on the statement. I'm just trying to see if there's anything on
Anything at training?
No,
whatever
there's no-
knees? What's he strapped at
No
training?
strapping on the,
fuck
on the
off.
knees at training.
That's good.
That's
And
good.
he's got some shorty shorts on as well.
He loves it.
Loves it.
Jesus.
I reckon Matt just give him a new
Has
pair of
Paddy even
Conga.
got shorts on, or is he
Paddy
wearing
have
fucking
pants on?
budgies?
They do
Does
in the
Paddy
tuck.
Carrigan have
Is he wearing
pants on?
budgies?
The budgie tuck.
He don't give.
See, I couldn't afford it.
Paddy Carrigan. Do your thing, boys, as long as you fucking win. That's all you want. That's all you do. That's all you're thinking about for Madge. Just win.
They will look good in that black jersey.
The black will
Oh,
look
the black's
sick.
gonna look
I hope is it
silky.
all black,
All
everything?
black. Everything. Logos, badges.
No, but like the pants are black. I'm not like I'm saying shorts, socks.
Even the Gavins,
Like all
even
blacks.
the Gavins, black.
Yeah.
The Caseys.
I reckon the shorts would be. I reckon.
Nah, they've got to go all black.
They are.
Otherwise, they look
No, it's a
shit.
blackout.
Yeah.
It's a blackout. I've seen it. It's
Yeah,
a blackout.
full-
Okay, that's
and I'm
cool.
very confident he's right. I can remember him. It's because I seen it with the trainer when he first did it.
Right
in the
leg.
Warriors game, and I feel like he was moving the
Yeah,
right
okay,
one.
right. Well, I think you go left a fair bit because he's good off his left straightening up, and Ezra Man loves on his left.
True.
So let's go Broncos. Get this shit out of the way.
All right.
That's
black.
cool.
All black everything.
All right, get the win. Otherwise, it looks stupid.
All right, let's go. Raiders versus Rabbitohs, Sunday 2 p.m. And I am looking at the team sheet there, so I
another
need
good
the
game.
changes. So, huge milestone game for Josh Papali'i. He's been listed to start.
What
in
a man.
Record-breaking 319th game. That makes him the most capped Raiders player
Yeah.
of all time. Mace,
In the middle, front row. Come on, you got to give the credit to this big boy.
the
He's a
bra,
Hall of Famer.
he moves to lock to account for Josh. Morgan Smithies goes to the bench. Fogarty is also back. As for the Rabbitohs, Jack Whiten and Cody Walker are back. So Whiten will go into the centres. Tass shifts to the wing. Bailey, Bentley, Harpe makes way. Jaden Sullivan goes to the bench. Dry Gray drops to the reserves. Liam LeBlanc.
I was waiting for it. Oh, what did you say? He's LeBlanc.
We're so immature. aren't we?
He'd be so Aussie too with a name like LeBlanc.
Heaps Aussie. He joins the team after being the 18th man last week. Lukey, what are the odds?
Canberra $1.48, Souths $2.65. Tab have the line at 6.5.
This is going to be a cum game.
Yeah, you know they're not good at Raiders. Is these big emotional games?
Yep.
We've said this before.
Yep.
It's just sort of what
Crocus
big Papa's
300th, Papa's 300th. There's another
Someone's
one
200th. I think it's Joey Tarpanese 200th.
maybe Tarps.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
Tarps.
think they'll change this one. They'll learn from that not to take too much emotion into it.
You know he's going to be pumped for this game out of respect for one of his best mates, Jack Whiten.
Yeah, Jackie boy.
Jack's going hard in the paint down in Canberra.
He wants to ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Respectfully,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the Raiders. I like it. I know. This would be a great game. You look at 2:00 as well. It's great to play down there on that oval. It's always a fast track. Hopefully the sun's out a little bit. It'll be still fucking freezing.
Yeah.
It's Canberra, but this is when Canberra turn the heaters on in your room, right?
Yeah.
They on purpose. They let you think, oh, it's freezing outside, and they turn the heaters on in your room. You come outside and you freeze your nuts off. I'm going. I want the Raiders to win, not because of just Big Papa, but it's to be special. It's his 319th game, but I like Canberra, man. I just like
I'm
him.
all
I always
aboard.
got a soft spot for him.
I'm all aboard the Canberra Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in. I like watching them play. They just play a tough, uncompromising game.
Yep.
Fucking could be all over the shop. Could be like, that's why it's hard. It would be hard to game plan for the Raiders. What do they do? What do? They don't just go through the middle. They go like the bra could be on the right side of the ruck and he's fucking attacking your right edge.
Yeah.
7 degrees.
7 degrees.
7 degrees.
but feels
partly
like
cloudy.
1.
And it's light drizzle on the Saturday just to wet the track, and then it's
7 degrees in Canberra is like a -10 up here.
that feels like
Yeah,
10.
it's fucking
so
disgusting.
It's so So for that reason, I'm going Canberra Raiders as part of my Sunday multi. I'm also going the most unpredictable of all unpredictables, Hudson Young. I don't know where he's going to score. He's going to score.
He does.
That I do know. Responsibly.
Off a kick.
Of course. He's going to off kick.
Off his
pass.
kick and a
he
deflection.
He could offload to himself somehow. Get a deflection off
he
the
would get a
post.
deflection off Horsburgh's kick.
Yep. And somehow get over.
Then flick it to the bra and he'll pass it back.
I'll tell you what is a little bit more predictable. AJ scoring.
No.
I'm riding AJ.
I want him to score.
I'm
3
gonna-
tries but get beat.
Here's a teaser for my multis coming up, and I just want to will this record.
Yeah,
for
we're
this
doing
year.
it. We're doing it.
I'm backing AJ every game that he plays for my multi this year. So Alex Johnston on the left against the more improved right edge for the Canberra Raiders, but still I've got my doubts. So Canberra head to head, Alex Johnston anytime, Hudson Young anytime, 550 Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I like that. If I knew how to put a bet on, I'd put that on. $5 each way. Yeah, I like the Raiders. I like it. This will be a good game. I want to see how long's Cody and Jackie Boy been out.
About 4 weeks.
Okay, not that long. They will just slip straight back in.
Yeah. It might have been the Bulldogs game.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
Might have been the Bulldogs game when Cody Walker was on the bench.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was Cody. Because he said his calf was tight in that game.
Yeah,
and
when you were you did the Tour of Doom.
Yeah, I'm doing that this
yeah,
week. I'll be
yeah.
doing that this week at Para
Okay.
game. You going to be there? I'll get you down there. Get on the Bulldog shed.
In my paraphernalia?
paraphernalia.
Can I be in the
I'm
Bulldog
calling.
Yeah, I'll be there. We'll
Can I
be
come
there.
down and run some shape with you around the thing?
Run it.
I've got the pass and
go.
everything. I can
Fuck,
get down
you
on the
can get
field.
down the field, mate.
Come see ya.
Maybe I will go.
See the 8th?
Yeah.
The 8th?
Yeah, the
Freddie's
8th
down
there.
there. Everyone's
Yeah.
down there. Gallaby there.
Oh, what a game.
Mate, it's good. Just get on the field.
I can. Yeah, I'll come down.
Yeah, I'll
Feel the warm-up.
Let's go.
All right, done.
I'll see you down there.
Where are we? We got the Tigers. We got the Tigers first. We got the Tigers versus Panthers. Ooh, Jerome versus Nath.
First time.
And Taruva versus
That'll be
Cole.
cool.
So the West Tigers versus Panthers Sunday 4 p.m. at Combank. Latu Fainu is back. He's set for his first game since round 5, whilst also big in Jarrell Skelton. He was really good for him at the start of the year. Alex 12 concussion, he's out. Alex Saithfath moves to lock. Tony Suko promoted to start.
Wow.
Brent Naden and Charlie Staines both make way. Kit Laulali joins the bench for his first game of this year, and they've got a debutant in, I thought it was Charlie Murphy, but it's Charlie Murray.
Jeez, there's a lot there.
A lot going on. Ivan's got the same 17 that took down the Eels. Isaiah Papali'i and Luke Garner, they're amongst the reserves. They're a chance of playing some footy this week. Lukey, what do you got?
I have for you $3.40 for the West Tigers. Penrith are at $1.32 a tab. The line is 9.5.
Penrith are going on a run. They got too many things coming in and out with like a Tony Sukar promoted to start, right? That's a big ask for him. Debutants coming in at Penrith, like what the Penrith looked like last week. If that Penrith turns up, which I think it's going to, you're fucking getting it.
They need
too many ins and outs for Tigers. It just feels like there's a lot of instability in that team, and the playing. No disrespect to the players.
Yeah. So to your point, Mace, they have 2 more games guaranteed that they'll be missing. Actually, not guaranteed. Let me just confirm that before I say guaranteed.
Yeah, they will be.
No, I need to check and make sure they don't have to buy for those rounds. So 15.
While you're looking up, Mace, chat out there with Luai and Clear. What do you reckon that'll be like?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be anything disrespectful. It'll be just so. I don't think they'll be just saying what's up. There wouldn't be any bad blood between them, I reckon, at all.
Not bad blood, but
even just a chat. Like, it'd just be a little probably just the same shit they'd be saying at training.
Zero chat.
Yeah, but I don't think so. It's not like that. To be like, just, I'm feeding the scrum, he's there, feeding the ball. I'll probably just fucking wink at each other once or twice. I don't think it's going to be anything. I think that they're not like that.
There'll be
towards each other. There'll be a wink or something's going on.
At the scrum.
Yeah.
There'll be a wink at the scrum.
When just he's feeding the ball, he's there. What's going on?
Yeah.
Be very respectful.
Yeah.
I don't think, they've come so far as friends and won so much like that. There's no.
But how much would you want to get it over the other guy?
Oh, right.
Well, the Tigers, if the Tigers win this would be massive.
This is 13th
Massive.
versus 14th too.
Yeah. Well, it was 16 versus 17 last week, wasn't it? And it was one of the best games I've seen.
Yeah, fucking oath.
So, like, that just shows how tight this game, this whole comp is. The Panthers are going, we're 3 points off making the 8. So we'll just grab another 2.
Have to.
Got to.
So I was going to say they're guaranteed to lose their players for 2 more games. Not the case. They get the bye 15 and 18. So that helps.
That helps a lot.
Helps heaps.
All right. Yeah, Panthers.
Panthers should.
Tight. If I see that Panthers team from last week, that looked like.
The thing is, they're going to get the absolute best version of the West Tigers.
Yeah.
I'm really confident the best version of the West Tigers turn up in this one.
But like the player, that's what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The
quality of Penrith.
Yeah. Alex Twile, he does. Even though he doesn't score billions of tries or anything like that, he does a lot of work in the middle.
True.
Seyfarth. It'd be interesting to see Seyfarth get into it because he's been getting no ball on that right edge. He's done hardly anything this year because of their attack. Get in the middle. That'll be good. Sukar promoted to start, which is a fucking.
I think he's a better middle than he is back row anyway.
Yeah, because I think he's aggressive. He's really aggressive. They missed that. And, last year he had some joy on that edge there, but like this year, they haven't been going his way at all. So I think it would be good to see him in the middle and just mix it up there because he's got a good skill set. It's been good.
Yep. All right, the Bulldogs versus Eels, Monday, 4 p.m. at Accor Stadium. The Bulldogs have got Lockie Galvin listed amongst their reserves. In your heart of hearts, Mace, does he play this week?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I just think if we're true of what we're trying to build, a culture and everything like that, Lockie Galvin is obviously going to be a plan for the next 10 years. But you don't just roll over. We're coming first.
All right.
We're coming first, and that team deserves to be sticking together for a good week or 2. If they get beat this week or next week, it'll be 3 in a row. Do you know what I mean? Something like that to make a change for him. Then it'll be there. And you got to earn everything at training and everything like that, man. Like it's like that.
Yeah.
It's not like the team that was 3 years ago or the club was when it was on its knees. But so he's got to earn everything.
Remember,
and I think that was the conversations when he's talking to. Apparently Gus didn't talk to him. Gus or fucking Ciro. Do you know what I mean? Like they're the conversations. Like you got to earn everything at this club. This is a whole new era. And I think he's like, I will. I want to get coached. I want to earn everything because he's had a bit of a dream run, hasn't he?
Remember, I think it was the start of this year, maybe back into last year. You were talking about debut jerseys, and remember your first jersey. A Galvin 23 is not a bad debut jersey if you were to collect it.
Oh yeah, so
you remember that one?
Hey, we'll know if he's playing. We were down on the floor doing the warm up. Because it'll be imprinted. Debut jersey. You're not doing that for 23.
Good shout. Good shout.
So have a look at that if you're looking at the warm up.
Got to check out all the seamstress.
Yeah, you have to.
Area.
Yeah, exactly. For that warm up. If it says debut fucking thing, he's playing.
Well, next
If
week
not,
you're playing. Next week you're playing the South on Sunday, and you'll have no Stephen Crichton, and
he'll slip into that.
then they find a way.
I think that's the way.
Yeah.
That's the way. I think that's the way to sort of slyly just get him into the groove. He
All
just needs to feel this one out.
Where were we with the teams?
And I think,
Who else?
Sorry. I think Ciro's come out and said he'll work his way through reserve grade, and Ciro don't fuck around with those words.
Yep.
So
I'm
thinking so that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, Ciro's not going to come out and just blatantly say that and then fucking put him in this team.
Yep.
So he probably plays this week in reserves. Then he sticks to his word. Then next week, when we've got a few players out, he might be in there for a critter.
All right. Well, Critter's back. Max King's back. Kurt Mann's back. And also Jacob Carraz from the calf injury and Saluka Fafita from the concussion. As for the Eels, they welcome back Will Penasini. So Samarani moves to the bench and Joash Papali drops to the 18th man. Maysha obviously on the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Hard game, but very hard game.
Bet. I'm not having a stupid bet with you anymore.
No, this should be good. This should be a hard game, man. Para's up for this.
Fuck it. Do you want to go to the jersey bet again?
Yeah, all right. It'd be good.
Tuesday morning, Eels jersey or a Bulldogs jersey?
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Yeah. People like me in that Bulldogs jersey as well.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's good content.
I'll get you an old school one, but
you give me
because that was a proper like
vintage one.
Fucking,
Yeah, get me if you got a vintage OG one.
I got some.
It's a good game for Moses, I reckon. I reckon he froths in this game.
Yeah, fucking oath.
That's what I mean. Like this scares me. This game. This one scares me.
For some reason, I feel like Mitch Moses is a Monday specialist.
This game scares me more
Monday
than
games. I feel like he's had big Easter Monday games for some reason.
I listened to the
Tigers,
Moses podcast yesterday.
Remember?
Yeah.
Moses with Carney and Piercy.
Yeah. Isaac
the
Moses.
actual full one. Yeah, the Isaac Moses podcast. And the way that he talks about how he had to change his pace and to have
Tempo.
two halves to go back and forth with.
Yeah.
It was fascinating.
Mate, really good chat. Those boys fucking, it's good. The one thing I've taken out of this too is a lot of them with halves, and we talk about the depth of the lack of halves at the moment. And the preparation that all of these guys put in, they've done Nath, they've done Mitch, and they've just done Adam Reynolds recently. They just get down the park and they kick a shitload of footies.
Yeah. They know the football better than anyone.
And Mitch said it like he didn't realise he was doing it at the time, and it's paid him back now. But he just as a kid, they just loved going down the park and kicking footies until fucking their mum and dad would make them come back inside.
Tom and Eddie said
that goes from the greats all the way to now. Yeah, he what did they say about Joey? He's tame the Steed.
He's the only man to ever tame a Steed.
Fuck them, mate. Tom and Eddie make me laugh.
They got the footy show for that.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. That's where I saw it. 100% footy or something.
Danica invited him on. I think they're going to go on Freddie and
they should. Mate, they're fucking hilarious. Yeah. They're the only one to tame a Steeden. They're just both sitting there in their tracksuits and shit.
Because that was a late night, I'll tell you
I'm telling you.
If those two cunts get on fucking Freddie in the 8, that'll be hilarious. Wow. They're the best.
But
we're going to do a stream together with them too. We'll do one at the back end of the season. What else have we got?
Stephen
Jersey bet?
Yeah, Jersey bet.
I
saw that Stephen Crichton, how he set that try up in Origin, how slick that was. I think I just saw it, I don't know, I saw it on the gram or something yesterday. They broke it down. There was like 4 people coming across.
And the right foot to beat Val
to beat Val and then square up and they're all rushing over. And
with your cork.
Yeah, with his mad
with the Dwight.
With the Dwight, just fucking rolling. But like that was beautiful to watch. Absolutely beautiful.
And I'm going to go the Roosters to beat the bye as well. With all the rookies and the development. Have a good weekend.
Enjoy your footy.
We're filming Tuesday because we've got the Monday games. We're not 100% when the teams get announced for Origin, so we want to make sure that we could properly dissect the teams on Tuesday. So,
and then Queensland will be fucking.
Do you reckon we'll get any curlies?
From Queensland?
Yeah. Predictions for teams?
The mail was Ches at this stage. Ches is out. That's
really.
But that was the mail going into game 1 too.
He wasn't going to play, was he?
Yeah.
What about Reece Robson? We didn't mention that.
I think that was just for this game.
Right.
I think he might be a 50-50. Like he might not play against the Storm apparently.
What?
But he could play.
What's wrong with him?
Had tweaked his hammy.
Oh shit. Yeah, right.
More to come on Tuesday. See you next week.
Yeah, we'll see Tuesday and then we'll just, if there's potential replacements, we can discuss that then when we know if he's injured or not.
All right. Enjoy your footy.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.